something down. I have been trying like crazy to get a sponsorship from a beer company.
And what a great way to start the podcast that I just totally started stealth recording. I'm just saying, I'm going to burn something down.
I would like to state that was just a hypothetical.
Of course.
At least
of
he was
course.
here to say it this time.
Go.
True. Last time he didn't turn up for the first like 25 minutes of the stream, so
This is true. This is true.
this is an improvement.
Welcome, guys, to the first episode of the Luna Lounge podcast in a while. We have our special guest, Noctis, and our obviously main hosts, Lazz and Scorch, the most popular guests that we've had.
And now for the real
Thank
intro.
you.
Welcome to the Lazz
Scorch
Scorch
show.
That would have been funnier if Lazz was on the ball.
That's
Oh,
great.
it's never in sync. That's
No,
the
it's not
point.
meant to be.
No, I want Lazz to be in sync for the joke, because then it sounds like Scorch came up with the idea himself.
Now you got me thinking about that TikTok
no,
where they're like, where the
We
two white
almost
girls.
did that jingle in sync once, and it was scary. That
Yeah,
I
we
was
didn't like
no,
it.
we can't do it in sync. That's wrong.
Yeah, well, it was
Sync
never
for-
do it again.
okay.
Yeah, it's unnatural.
All
What
right.
were you saying? It was like what TikTok, Noctis?
There's a TikTok of these girls, and they have a Bluetooth speaker outside a door, and you hear,
Oh shit!
"I
should
feel your
turn off my lights.
heartbeat," and to the speed of the drum, and they do it out of sync, and pretty much everyone hates it. It is awful. It's like,
Bruh.
it's
Okay. You guys talk
What are you
while I
trying to say
remove
about our
sound
intro?
uh,
Noctis
It's not
is saying
awful.
that it's as great as him deep throating a cactus.
I'm a little behind.
Oh no!
You know, it's like you know, when you experience it, you're like, "What is this? Is
So it's
this how it's supposed to
uncomfortable?
be?" Yeah,
Uncomfortable
you're
and
like you're
spiky?
unsure,
Is that-
but like you're just like, you know what? This is how it's supposed to be.
This is just what's happening.
Why
And
did-
you just at a
Why
certain
did you
point.
deep throat the cactus anyway?
Yeah, that's a good question. What's the story behind the deep
Did
throating?
somebody offer you a PS5?
Hang on,
Okay.
let me catch up.
So basically,
God damn
this is how it's gonna work. Okay, I'll tell you the story. All right. So Sony basically did this thing where they're doing this is real, by the way. They're doing like this contest where you can like enter, right, to have a guaranteed purchase of a PS5. And
Okay.
in order to in order to increase his chances of luck, right? Then he went to a fortune teller, right? Who happened to be associated with Sony. So Sony affiliated fortune teller. And
Mhm.
the
Normal
fortune
things.
right. So he asked the lady, you know, what he can do to increase his odds of winning. And the fortune teller was like, "No, I'm sorry. Everyone has an equal chance. There's nothing I can do." And Noctis was like, "I will deep throat a cactus if that's what it takes." It's just like, "Please don't." He's like, "Too late. I'm gonna do it." And then he just ran over to the cactus store that was conveniently nearby, and he was like, "Oh well."
Oh, okay.
There's
well, this
another
makes
one.
less sense, but all right.
That's
I'm here for
exactly
it.
what happened.
Did you get
I
the
hate you.
PS5, Noctis?
Yeah.
I hate you guys.
Okay, to be fair, they
Oh.
haven't been around, and if they haven't been listening to every episode of the podcast, they might not know about your PS5 status.
Scorch brought it up. What are you talking about? Of course he knows.
But
That's
even
that's
if
the joke.
you could have a PS5 in the background, and he would probably still ask.
Do you have a PS5 in the background? No.
Oh my
Scratch
God.
that. Do you have a PS5?
I don't have a PS5. I'm never gonna have a PS5.
That didn't take long.
There-
That
there-
was within 5 minutes, right?
You know what's really
Yeah.
crazy? All right, like real talk. This is legitimately a real thing, which fascinates me. The PS5 is outselling the Switch.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a real statistic. I don't know about this
Why?
exact moment, but in a recent post. So there's two theories. One, Sony's actually doing their job and pumping out enough PS5s for everybody. The problem is scalpers are just buying them so fast, but Sony doesn't care because they make that much money anyway, as if everybody bought it. Or two, so many people are mad at Nintendo right now that they stopped buying Switches.
Why are they mad at Nintendo? Did I miss something? What did Nintendo do now?
Two things. So they released the Nintendo Switch OLED, which everyone's mad that it's not the Pro, or whatever the Pro would be called. Pro's technically a made-up name. And two, I don't know if you aware. So they recently came out with a new online expansion. So you have the standard online,
I did see
right?
That. Yeah.
And then you could pay extra, which for an individual person, which is the only price anyone ever mentions on the internet, is $50 a year. And that gets you, the normal online experience, but then it also gets you access to emulations of N64 and Genesis games. And everyone's mad because they're saying it's not worth the price, this, that, or the other thing. But then it's like, all right, let's wait and see, right? Maybe they'll announce more stuff. But then Nintendo Online, the expansion officially released as of 2 days ago, and people started playing it, and there's slight input lag. And if they're not, and basically now everyone's mad at Nintendo because they can't do their 360 no scopes in Star Fox, while playing online with their friends, because clearly we want highly competitive N64 emulation.
People are weird.
Okay, so people are just being real nitpicky about shit, basically.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, it seems like normal shit. I'm like, if you're not, like, people being like, I don't think it's worth the money, then don't fucking buy it, you dipshit. If you don't think it's worth the money, just don't buy it.
Right? I'm like, this is not a required price increase like what Netflix does every 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Netflix goes, all right, we're upping the price, and you either have to accept it or not. Right?
We're upping the price, and also there's less on here because there's 85 new streaming services that released today. So
that's why our lovely new sponsor, ExpressVPN, is going to help alleviate you of your streaming problems.
As an Australian, I could have used ExpressVPN to access Netflix US. What a dream that would have been.
No, it's Netflix US.
Do they get Netflix in Australia?
As of like 2 years ago. Okay, maybe it's probably over like 5 years ago now, but very recently. And also when it first came out, we had like 5 shows on there and they were all terrible. So yeah, everyone was using a VPN to get American Netflix because we've been doing that for years because we just didn't have Netflix. And then they released the Australian one and we were like, heck yeah, Australian Netflix, I can do this shit legally. And then they gave it to us and we're like, this is some bullshit. I'm going back to my VPN. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. People are complaining about an optional service because they want it, but they don't want to pay as much for it. Apparently. Yeah. It also could be like, you could argue whether it's good marketing for Nintendo that they are probably going to add more to this service to make it more worth the money, but they haven't told us what it is. And when they don't say what it is, then people assume that there's nothing. Live chat update. Data miners found entries for about 26 N64 games and 50 Genesis titles, among other things. Now, assuming that's true, it means that's a lot more stuff that for the premium online service that hasn't been announced yet to probably justify the $50 a year. But Nintendo hasn't told us, so everyone's going to be angry about it.
Everyone's going to be angry no matter what.
That's true. And I'm also just like, this isn't the first time Nintendo has ripped people off. Like, they've been doing this for years. If you've ever bought a Nintendo product, you know that this is how they work. We suck it up and we deal with it. Fucking get over it and stop complaining or stop buying their stuff. Like, don't buy their shit while complaining.
They're always going to buy the stuff, all right? Look at Pokemon Sword and Shield. All right, I have never seen so many people complain about a game they've been asking for and then buy it in mass.
Yeah, I'm always excited about the Pokemon games, and I know exactly what to expect from them. I'm like, it's going to be the same thing as it was last time. They're going to introduce some new Pokemon. They'll introduce some shitty new, like mechanic, like what was it, Mega Dynamo or whatever the fuck they called it in Sword and Shield. Like, I don't know, I can't remember what it was called. It was stupid.
It's called Dynamax, but I like Mega Dynamo.
Mega Dynamo is like a better name for it.
Nintendo, are you listening?
Can we make them like do all poses like it's like Mega Dynamo go?
Yes. But yeah, look, Pokemon has been repetitive and stupid for a long time, and I buy it every single time on release and enjoy it.
It's still more worthwhile than the idiots who buy FIFA football every single year. That is literally the same game. They don't even add new Pokemon.
I mean, you have Pokemon.
There's not even Pokemon in that game. What the
new
hell?
Pokemon game that's not the new Pokemon game that people are complaining is new old is coming out soon. I'm excited. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I think it looks great. I think everyone's complaining that it's not like people are like, it doesn't look like this game, and then I have to put it, guys. You do realize that it's literally different people making this game. All right, I'm gonna say this again for anyone who doesn't know this. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is not being made by the main Pokemon company people. It's literally a different company that was given rights.
It's shocking.
Can we go back to that FIFA with Pokemon thing? I'd play that game.
Yeah, I'd play FIFA.
FIFA
you know, that
Pokemon?
might be the first. Yeah.
Is it
be the first game I ever buy?
So does that mean that the Pokemon, the soccer ball that you're kicking, is the Pokemon, or that the players are the Pokemon?
I assumed it was the Pokemon as the players, or that you're playing as the players and then the Pokemon come in to fuck shit up. Which I'm there for that.
Okay,
wait,
so basically
you
we're saying
kick a ball in FIFA?
No, I no, not me.
I don't know. I've never played FIFA.
FIFA's
like
like
football game though.
FIFA's like golf, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's like
Tiger
Final
Woods.
Fantasy golf.
Yeah.
It's that thing you play with a racket.
Is it a golf racket? Huh.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
Wait, have either of you guys? Have either of you, I know Noctis has them. Have either of you guys played Mario Golf?
No.
No, I've not played that.
So like that came out. I haven't touched it. I'm just so like, we know some people who play it pretty regularly. I'm just like, no, I don't want Mario Golf. I do want Mario Party. I am super excited for Mario Party that comes out this week.
It makes me almost want to buy a Switch.
I didn't even know that was coming out.
There's a new Mario Party, all right? And it's old school Mario Party. So like it's like a remake of old maps with the old games. And like you could watch a trailer, right? I was watching legitimately. This is how me buying Mario Party went. I watched the trailer for the game. I saw they have pushy penguins, and I stopped what I was doing, and I went to pre-order the game. I'm like, you have officially won me over. You have pushy penguins. That is all I need.
Pushy penguins.
Pushy penguins is the best game.
That's the game that got you into this, huh?
I really love mini games, but Pushy Penguins is one of my top 5 mini games. It's literally called Pushy Penguins.
I gotta be honest, I've never played it.
Wait, I'm gonna look it up right now. Pushy.
It's from Mario Party 5. I've never played Mario Party 5.
Oh my god, it looks goddamn adorable. I mean, you know what? You had me at Penguin, honestly. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah,
like,
so I'm buying it. I hope other people buy it. I hope maybe we can eventually do drunk Mario parties.
My only problem with Mario games is that they're always like $10,000. And by $10,000, I'm exaggerating because obviously they're like $80 or $90. And I just never feel like they're worth it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, the problem is you're in Australia.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not anymore. I'm in Canada now.
Well, the problem is you're
still
in Canada.
using fake money.
The problem is you're still in a country where they make everything more expensive.
That's only because
I think
your dollar is artificially created.
I thought you were going to say metal or something. Saying my money's plastic just sounds like every kid with a credit card going, yes, I have money.
No, I said your money isn't plastic. You still make it out of paper, you fucking noobs, and then you get beer on it, and it just fucking disintegrates, and you all cry.
First of all right,
beer on money.
If all of the wallet commercial, if all the Ridge wallet commercials have taught me one thing, nobody uses real money anymore. All right, you use only credit cards. You get yourself that Ridge wallet. All right, that way when you're going to go, and this is again, I don't know what the target demographic is. When you go mountain climbing and it's snowing, and apparently you're wearing your shorts, you're able to say, "Yes, my Ridge wallet is holding up." And I'm like,
"My Ridge wallet."
Well, I'm glad that your Ridge wallet is able to hold up for you mountain climbing, because yes, other wallets clearly would not have made the journey. I don't know what the.
I mean, why do you? I'm confused. Why do you need a special wallet for like climbing in the mountains.
You don't. It's like,
Like,
I
what
said,
are you
it's a
doing
stupid
with it?
commercial. It's a
Welcome
stupid
to
commercial.
America.
Well, are you using it to like are you using it as a pick? Like, does it double as a pick or something so you can do that climbing shit when it's like
Nope.
icy? I need to speak to Lara Croft about this because she never needed a mountain climbing wallet and she was rich. So I feel like
Did
she'd
you
have some
see?
opinions.
Like she fucks up a lot. Like, have you played any of those games? They're constantly her getting stranded on an island. Like, Laura, get better. Get better. You
Get
know?
your shit together.
It's
I
kind of like
also
when you say like
don't know whether Lazz is doing a bit or if she's being genuine. This happens regularly.
Wait, what happens regularly? Her getting lost on an island?
Is Lazz was Lazz doing a bit with that wallet ice pick thing, or was she being genuine? Like sometimes it's hard to tell.
That's for you to decide, Scorch. I'll leave it to the people.
All right,
I-
live chat, vote right now. Just type it, type in the chat whether or not you think she was doing a bit. But if you want to check it out, I'm streaming. I am streaming it on Saturday morning. I have people who claim they're going to be there, and people who might not show up because I think only one person is actually joining me at an appropriate time, and everyone else is joining me at like times that are really inconvenient for them.
What are you streaming on Saturday?
Mario Party.
The Mario Party. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you want to see what it's like, and you want to know if it's worth getting and spending fake Canadian money on it, you know, you are
I
entitled to do so.
I like my Canadian dollary dues. Thank you very much.
Live chat wants to know about the Animal Crossing bomb.
I don't know what do you get? What is the Animal Crossing bomb?
Yeah. What bomb
Wait,
is that?
What is the Animal? Yeah, live chat. Can you tell me what is the Animal Crossing bomb?
Animal
Is this
Crossing.
not the expansion?
Okay, I typed in Animal Crossing bomb and it came up with, do you mean Bob? I'm like, no, I don't mean your stupid cat. Go away. God damn it.
I watched
why
someone.
Why wouldn't you search Animal Crossing news?
Oh, okay. So they are referring to the update.
Point.
Okay. So basically, I don't know if. Well, I mean. So I've said my thoughts on Animal Crossing a lot. I'll sum it up really quickly. The DLC Happy Home Resort looks really cool, and I probably plan on doing that.
Ooh.
Eventually, I do plan on actually streaming Animal Crossing when I get around to it, and I have to spend like 5 weeks flattening my island, and then I'll. Someone gave me the idea of remaking it as the farm sim, which might be kind of funny.
You almost gave the game away. When I get around to it.
Shush.
Oh my god.
But I don't think anyone else here plays Animal Crossing. I know Noctis loves Animal Crossing. Do you play Animal Crossing? Do you know about the update?
Nah. No fucking idea.
So they're doing a very notable upgrade. Finally getting Animal Crossing 2.0. So like, if you actually this update pretty much adds like 90% of the things that people have been asking for.
Oh, okay. Because to be fair, every time I see there's an Animal Crossing update, they're like, huge update, going to be life changing. It's going to be a completely different game. You can dive in the ocean now and find pearls.
Yes.
That
is most up. No, this is a legitimate update. So they're bringing back like they made like a dedicated island where you're going to have all of the old characters that you like, and they even I don't remember what's the name. They brought back the stupid cap on the boat, and I swear to God, if you bring me to an island and tell me to catch golden beetles, I'm gonna lose it. Which technically he does bring you to an island and tell you to catch beetles, but there's different islands. So
there's many islands,
but there is many islands. They also bring back gyroids and all this stuff. Like pretty much all of the old, they bring back Brewster. If like all these stuff from the old games that people love, except unique personalities. They still are making all the villagers bland. So you know,
two things. I've never played any of the old games, and so I have absolutely no idea what any of that meant. But it sounds like it's going to be a good time.
Okay. It sounds like it's basically they added actual content, and you could still name all of your villagers Scorch, and it doesn't break character.
Great. Okay, cool. Good to know.
There's actual content now. I'm interested.
Mm.
Because the whole
let me
game
actually
is
sum up. Let me
non-content.
sum up gyroids for you and anyone else. All right. So
Yeah, I
everyone
heard
sees-
gyroids. That's
all right,
actually
look
my
at,
third question.
So for anyone who doesn't know what gyroids is, all right, basically you see
it sounds
Lazz's
like a
cam,
disease Noctis would
all right,
have.
you see how there's basically shells with all these tchotchkes that look really random and they don't really do anything, but they're there and we love them even though we don't understand them at all. Those are gyroids. And if you know what gyroids are, you'll understand how accurate that is. It's basic. Look up gyroids and you'll see how accurate that is.
Okay, I've looked up a lot of strange things in the last. I looked up Animal Crossing Bomb, and then I looked up Happy Home Resort, which is apparently a real resort in India, and now I'm concerned that I've been flagged because I typed in bomb and then India in very close.
Say what?
It looks like something you would deep throat Noctis.
No, well, shut up. No, it's the thing that the villager rides in Super Smash Bros. That's all I know it from.
Oh, gyroids from the Animal Crossing series are based on Japanese clay figures.
Yeah, not cactuses, all right? Joke's on you, Scorch.
I think you'd enjoy them nonetheless, though, Noctis.
I mean, the first picture I clicked on has one that looks exactly like a cactus.
Yeah, that's pretty on point.
Got a little flower on its head.
Okay, wait. Hold up.
Wait.
We're waiting.
Second.
We're waiting.
We're waiting.
I've seen these fucking gyroids before in another Nintendo game.
You might have.
Is it Super Smash Bros? Because I think it's Super Smash Bros.
No, because I haven't played enough of that. I feel like it's in something like maybe a Zelda game.
Korra?
It's in.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Maybe I can't remember, but I'm looking at these and I recognize them, and it's not from Animal Crossing.
There are no gyroids in Legend of Zelda, to my knowledge. I tried looking this up. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh card named Gyroid.
I hate Yu-Gi-Oh.
Once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. That's pretty impressive.
That really isn't.
That
is so not impressive, and I'm so mad that I give you an actual 10-minute description about why that's not impressive.
How is that not impressive? If you can't be destroyed by a bigger monster.
Because it's only one. Is it? Well,
all right.
Did you say
basically,
once?
if it's not something that you can search out from the deck, special summon for free, immediately does something, has negates, and can't be destroyed, but then it's basically trash.
It has
I think we're putting Scorch to sleep.
It's a 3-star, so you can regular summon it. You can have 3 of these bad boys on the field. Especially if you put them in defense.
Okay, but I think the real issue with that particular card is that Yu-Gi-Oh is trash and no one should play it anyway.
That is very accurate. I agree with this.
Yeah,
a lot of
I like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mine and Lazz's have started playing it recently, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a new game. Like we're all gonna get it." And someone was sharing their screen in Discord, and I clicked on it. I was like, "This literally looks like a PS1 game. Like what? Why are you
pretty sure
this?
I muted the chat. I was like, someone said Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, mute.
Wow.
Yeah, look, I'm hardcore Pokemon fan, and all of that Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon and everything just felt like, I don't know, they just felt like they were riding the Pokemon train.
I've had thousands and thousands of Pokemon cards through the years. Not once have I ever tried to learn how to play the card game. I could not give 2 shits about the card game. Yu-Gi-Oh was the first, actually got me interested.
I loved the Pokemon
in the game
card
itself.
game. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember just throwing out a Charizard and being like, "No, you're dead!" And then your friend would cry, and you'd be like, "Ha!" But as an adult, I have learned how to play.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you can't just throw out Charizard. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the game, but I'm assuming you can't throw out a Charizard.
I was actually talking with my kids. We were talking about Pokemon cards actually, and then someone brought up the Pokemon Oreos, And
No, those are dumb.
so for anyone who doesn't know, they came out with special Oreos with Pokemon like on them, and they actually became like all the rage, and they actually became expensive, especially because the different Oreos have different rarities. So the Mew Oreo, you could actually sell that for like a lot of money if you actually pulled a Mew Oreo. And what's
so wait,
is
it
no,
like,
they're legitimate
printed?
Oreos. They're legitimate Oreos. They're just
And is it just printed onto it, like instead of
it's
the
like
normal
on the
Oreo
cookie.
pack?
It's on the cookie. It's like on the it's like,
like,
imprinted on the cookie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
like
sorry,
the-
I meant imprinted on the cookie, not like
Yeah.
printed on a
Yeah.
package.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
So
have to look
now
this up right now.
basically,
Pokemon
and a
Oreo.
kid
Where do I get
literally
some?
one of my students
They're sold out. They're sold
one of
out
my
everywhere.
students was literally just like, yeah. So I had a bunch of Pokemon Oreos, and I realized later that I ate 2 Mews, and we're all going, no.
How much would
Hey,
that
man.
be worth?
So much money.
No, eat the just eat the Oreos.
It's
The
just
Oreo. Why the
Oreo.
fuck are you doing this Nintendo bullshit where you make them scarce? They got 50,000 cookies everywhere, like types of cookies, every store you go to. But these ones sell out everywhere? Come on.
To be honest, even if I had a really expensive like Mew cookie and I knew it, I would get. I know exactly what would
God.
happen. I would get really high and just be like, I'm just gonna eat the cookie.
Yeah,
and I'd eat the
just eat
cookie,
the
and the
fucking
next morning I'd be like, that was a $2,000 cookie I ate
New
while I was
Oreos are
high.
selling for between $100 and $1,000.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
much
dumb.
money.
That is dumb.
It's a cookie.
Exactly. Eat the fucking cookie.
Hey, people pay millions, like people pay like thousands of dollars for first edition Charizards. It's a picture
Oh, did you
on
see
a piece
this?
of cardboard.
First edition
I would
Charizard.
agree.
Wait,
Don't get
recently
moldy.
there was a guy, I want to say it was in the US, but I could be wrong, but I want to say in the US that, no, I'm pretty sure it was because I think there was something about the IRS, but basically he claimed COVID business relief fund money.
COVID money to buy a Charizard.
And then bought a first edition Charizard card for like $62,000 and is now being investigated by like the IRS and whatever other
That is
financial companies
amazing.
you have there. And I was like, you know what? That's fucking dedication. This guy found that card and was like, I am getting it.
Like, I don't. People are weird. Like,
I mean,
with
honestly,
Charizard's
I think
cool.
there are way weirder things out there. Like, I feel like people do way weirder shit for way less.
They spent $62,000 on a Pokemon card. That's insane to me.
I mean, people kill their
Octave,
entire families because they were fired from a job. So I'm like, spending that much money on a Charizard card doesn't seem that weird.
What a leap! Murder my entire family because I got fired from a job. $62,000 Pokemon card.
I think the Charizard card is less crazy, if you ask me.
They're equal in my book.
Maybe this is also
crazy.
I also don't understand this. Why Charizard? Am I the only one who thinks Charizard's overrated? All right. Hashtag cancel tFay. I don't see why. Why
tFay, you
Charizard?
think he's overrated because so many people love him, and you just want to be a hipster.
No, I don't.
I
I want to
agree.
be a hipster for many different reasons. That is not one of them.
I agree. It's definitely overrated.
I mean, I think it was because in the original, obviously in the TV show, Charizard, the initial, like the first season, second season, whatever it was when he came in, he was seen as, he was like too cool for school, literally. So everyone was like, yeah, I want to be Charizard. And then you played the Pokemon games. And if you had Charizard, you just fucked on everything in the game. So then you were like, well, yeah, Charizard beats everything. And then the card came out. And it was actually pretty popular in circulation, so everyone had a fucking shiny Charizard. And it was like, look at my shiny
Charizard, the evolution of Charizard.
The best one. But look, I do agree. As much as I feel like I have a nostalgic love for Charizard, but I mean, let's be honest, out of all the Charizard evolutions, Charmander is the best because he's the cutest fucking little cherub, and I just want to squeeze his sweet little face and protect him at all costs.
I'm pretty sure Cherub is actually another Pokemon, though.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that one. Cherub Charmander will shit all over Cherub Pokemon, whatever the fuck that one is. Okay, well, what is your favorite Pokemon then? You don't like Charizard?
My favorite Pokemon is Alolan Vulpix.
Oh, okay, good call. I can't argue with that. I will not insult that because that shit is adorable. Look at that. So fucking cute.
That is cute.
So fucking cute.
All right.
Mine is oh yeah.
Now I was gonna say Hisuian Zorua going up there. That Pokemon is amazing. I don't know if you saw that one.
Really? Really?
No, I
Wow.
prefer your Vulpix, Alolan Vulpix.
Yeah,
no,
Alolan
it
Vulpix
obviously
is way better.
obviously doesn't beat Alolan Vulpix. I'm just saying that I really am digging Hisuian Zorua. It's also normal ghost. What kind of nonsensical typing is that? What's even the point? Like, I feel like battle-wise, that's just unfair. You're just giving extra stab options. Because the only thing normal's weak to can't touch it.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, but what does it gain from it?
It's a shit take.
What does it gain from it?
Is.
Every single normal Pokemon? Every single normal attack?
They can. Are you saying stab? Like, I guess maybe if you give it like extreme speed, that'd be kind of cool.
Extreme speed, stab, hyper beam is pretty powerful.
Giga impact. But if it can learn any of those,
I don't know.
It may not even need to learn any of
everything
those.
can learn hyper beam.
Can regular Zorora? I'm looking up now. I gotta look up.
Lazz, what's your favorite Pokemon?
You're muted, Lazz. Check your
Galarian Rapidash is my favorite.
God damn it! Why?
Okay,
it's cute.
I have a deep love for horses.
This is where we fight. This is where we fight.
Okay, I have a deep love for horses. I loved Ponyta and Rapidash in the original ones because like they were just fucking baller, and I'm like, I could definitely ride that shit. And then they came out with Pink fucking Fairy and Psychic, and I was like, I'm in. I mean, I don't really why
so
you
ugly. What?
You're ugly. Leave Rapidash alone. Don't make me come over there.
I have said this, I think, on previous episodes of the podcast.
Shit.
I hate Galarian Rapidash. Galarian Ponyta is pretty good. Galarian Rapidash is so bad.
Is a fucking unicorn made of pastel colors. How can that be ugly?
Its hair is like so weird and droopy, and the colors are like
it's luscious. It's got luscious hair. It's like
it is not luscious hair. Okay.
It is luscious as fuck.
Freaking Alolan was it Alolan? Whatever the variant. No, Mega Ampharos. There you go. Mega Ampharos has luscious hair. All right. Galarian Rapidash does not have luscious hair. All right. I will fight you on this.
She has the most luscious hair out of anything ever, and
Noctis is right here.
And I said what I said.
I had glorious hair and I wasn't pointed out.
Well, yeah, I was gonna actually point out Scorch, but his hair is so glorious. I actually felt like using it for a bit would have been insulting.
It's too much.
I'm confused.
Also, how has nobody mentioned the cactus? All right, that I just stealth dropped on the screen.
Because I'm watching the Discord. I'm not watching the.
I'm also watching the Discord. Okay, that's pretty good.
Okay. So funny.
I like seeing you guys in lifetime, not delayed.
I have to have both up, so I just literally see, two sets of people, which is also very disorienting because the layout is not the same on Discord as it is on stream.
See, I had Galarian Rapidash up just to look at how glorious she is in all her magnificence.
No.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. Actually, no, I'm gonna Galarian Rapidash is everything. And
Galarian Rapidash is like, all right. If I was to, all right. So me and Noctis have talked about ranking every Pokemon. If I was to rank Galarian Rapidash, I'd give her like a D.
That's weird. That is so weird to me because I understand a lot of Pokemon like that, but Galarian Rapidash is the one you rate that low? Really?
I just genuinely, I'm not doing a bit. I genuinely rate Galarian Rapidash very low. Like, I hate that thing.
No, she's my favorite. It's like two of my favorite colors, like that like pastel like fairy floss pink combined with that like aqua like greeny blue, and then she's a unicorn, and she's also kind of angry, and I'm just so into it. Like honestly, if
I
Galarian
understand that
Rapidash
Galarian
in a
Rapidash is
female version,
popular.
if she was an actual female, I would be so into her. Like I would be like, you
I
are
mean,
my
I am
type. Come on over.
I'm sure there's tons of Rule 34 Galarian Rapidash. Like,
Laz only learned what Rule 34 was the other day.
what?
And yet,
What?
okay, look.
Wait,
Literally
wait,
the other
what?
day.
Wait,
Listen.
are you above
Wait, what?
13?
Yes. I'm just like the sheltered
How are you old enough to
life.
drink, but you don't know what Rule 34 is?
I went to an all-girls Catholic school. I have been very sheltered, okay?
Yeah, I think there's probably lots of Catholic schoolgirls on Rule 34. I'm surprised you're not familiar with it.
I'm just not one of them.
I'm trying to imagine life without knowing what Rule 34 is.
I don't know.
I also just want to clarify that Rule 34 is definitely, if it exists, it's on the internet.
If it exists, there is porn of it.
Okay,
If you
so
can-
same
sorry,
thing.
So basically, when
There
you're
is porn of
talking
it.
about, you
Yeah.
said you wanted a female version of Galarian Rapidash, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it already exists.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
s-
definitely.
honestly, I'm
probably
kind of
find it
scared
right
to
now.
look. I'm kind of scared to look it up. I was
Do
tempted.
you think
and I was
there's
like, oh,
there's definitely got to be a
Look through the
furry
outside.
that that's their persona
All right,
is Galarian Rapidash.
Female
God.
Galarian Rapidash.
ugh.
All right,
It's gonna lead
I'm gonna
into a
see if
dark hole,
I'm gonna
isn't
see
it?
if I can find it without looking up Rule 34 because I don't want to see that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Noctis, they heard you talk about the furry part too literally.
Yeah.
All of the
Nope.
pictures that I'm getting are literally like a humanoid horse, and it's disgusting.
I googled Galarian Rapidash furry, and yeah, wow. I'm not wow. Like I can't believe someone would do this, but within the first 10 results, really Google, really people. Oh my god! But yeah, welcome.
Look, I've
That's
accidentally Googled a lot of stuff that I wish I hadn't, so I'm choosing not to Google on this occasion.
Well, that's
Still
why I
wouldn't
said
know what
that's
Rule
why I only
34
looked up
was.
female Galarian Rapidash. I did not look like while it would guarantee me hits and probably better looking hits if I did Galarian Rapidash Rule 34. I would also be guaranteed much worse hits. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't.
see, I'm trying to
What?
find someone that made a furry suit that looks like Galarian
That's my
Rapidash.
instinct.
That's
All right. Well,
Wait, just
you
while
keep
I'm
at it.
thinking of it, what is the worst thing you've accidentally
Okay,
looked up on
okay.
the internet?
Can confirm there is Rule 34 of it. That's all you need to know.
What is
Can
the
confirm-
worst thing that I looked up on the internet?
Yeah.
What I just saw.
Scorch is like mine right now. Mine was blue waffles. Don't look it up under any
That's fair.
circumstances.
Oh
maybe
God,
Goatsy.
that is years ago.
Cromer
Yeah.
made me look it up like a
I
year
don't-
ago. He was
I
like,
don't
"Oh, do you
think-
want some blue waffles?" And I was like, "Oh
Oh,
yeah."
you
And he was
really-
like,
Yeah,
"Go look it up." And I looked
Oh
up
You
expecting
really
my
to
are
find
so
like
innocent.
I was expecting to see blue waffles that had been like, you know, actual like waffles from a
That's
you know,
like what, alright, that's legitimately when I was like in 9th grade, and I had a friend named
Oh,
Victoria,
God.
and she like was telling this guy she had a huge secret. He's like, "What is it?" She's like, "I don't want to tell you." He's like, "Why? Why know?" And she's like, "Okay, Google it." And then he just Googles Victoria's secret on the school computer.
Okay, that's worse.
No, that is something I would believe you would do.
No, I know that I can't find someone's secret on the internet.
Do you though?
Yes.
Do you?
Very good at Googling, which is
With
why
it-
blue
with
waffles
enough-
a very
with
upsetting
enough
time for me.
snooping, you can find someone's secret on the internet.
And to be fair, I would just look him up on Instagram and be like, I know everything about you now.
Can you imagine that Noctis had a secret where that he had a PS5 like since launch, and he's just been memeing it up on us this entire time? And then there's like one picture on the internet of him holding like someone took a picture of him and like getting a PS5 that he's unaware of. It's like,
No.
see,
Oh, that's
every
hilarious.
secret
have
can
this.
be found online.
That's pretty funny.
I like we're in the show about streaming, talking about streaming.
Hey,
the hell?
I wasn't given a topic of conversation for this one because we all knew we were just going to tangent anyway.
Yeah, I've just been freeballing it. So.
I mean, well, all right. Let's do like a 5-minute pseudo on topic. Tell us about how your podcast has been going. Recently.
It's been a bit slow recently. We've both been very busy.
Yeah, life has been a lot.
I feel like that's a lot of us.
Get on top of it.
Yeah.
I literally look at some streamers that I follow. I don't watch them at all, but I see how consistently they go live, and I know they do jobs, and I'm like, how? Do you legitimately not do anything outside of work but stream? I know I say this ironically, considering that I try to stream almost every night after my job, but still, I still look at other people. I'm like there are people who have a job and then they stream every day, and then they're like growing their community, and like they're posting in YouTubes, and I'm like,
how are you doing all of this?
Oh yeah,
I
wanted to get back into streaming, but it was just like I'd get home from work and I'd be shattered, and a load of my friends would be in a VC somewhere playing a game, and I'm like, I just want to chill out and play a game with you. I can't be bobothered to go live.
Yeah.
Noctis is actually the opposite. He's literally, I'm playing a game with friends, so I'm gonna hit the live button.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm going to be in front of my computer and play games, then why not stream? I mean, because that's what I don't like. I don't stream for money. I don't stream for growth. I just straight up, I just want to have some fun on the internet.
To anyone listening that knows, I know Lazz is one of them. Some of my friends include Drakon and Lammers. And you can't stream everything that they say.
No, you cannot. There are some people that you just cannot play games with.
I mean, you can just keep them on mute, so the stream can't hear them.
That is true.
I am insanely curious what they say that is so bad.
What? There's no context for what you're saying? All right, let's be honest. If you consider the fact that the amount of people who actively pay attention to what's happening on stream during a stream is probably on average less than 5% of average viewers, there's always no context for what's being said. They literally, like, I'm going to tell you what most of my viewers probably do. All right, I'm playing a game. They're going to pop me open. All right, they're going to say, all right, tFay's on. They're going to put me on one monitor, or they're going to like go to another tab. And they're going to do their own thing. And then they hear me start screaming, and then they're going to go back to see what happened. And then they're like, oh, ooh, funny content. So like, if Scorch is literally streaming with friends and he has them muted, and he's just like, and he's live, people will pull him up live, and then if there's no context, they're like, okay, whatever. We're here to look at his hair anyway.
Enjoy it while it lasts. It will be gone in just over a month's time.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's getting rid of it.
As will my beard in 3 days. Shit.
Is that only 3 days away? Fuck.
So,
that's gonna be
weird. This could be the last live broadcast with Scorch's beard.
No, Lazz Scorch goes
tomorrow. But after that, yes.
Yeah.
See,
okay.
All right. So there you go. Shameless plug for the last beard podcast.
We'll get in there. But yeah, this could be the announcement, I guess. I plan on streaming most days next month for charity. I'm going to do Movember, so the beard will go. I'll grow a tash, and then at the end of the month, I will cut my hair.
Wait,
no matter how much money I raise.
What you said? November, like Movember? What?
Yeah, so you've
never heard of Movember?
You never heard of it?
No.
You grow a mustache for the month of November.
I've heard no shaved November. I've heard of that.
I've heard of no shave. I've heard of no nut. I've never heard of Movember.
Oh, we have Movember in Australia as well.
I think it started in Australia originally.
Yeah.
Wait, was that a reference to Mo from the Three Stooges? I heard that noise last.
No,
it's a Mo as in like mustache.
Then why did you go?
Oh, that was just. That's just
you being okay.
Obviously, Zoidberg is Australian.
The idea is to grow a mustache, and you're raising awareness because people will be like, "Why are you growing a mustache?" It's like, "Oh, because I'm raising money for charity," and then that's the idea. And then I'll be streaming most days. I intend to, And all subs and bits, any donations will all go to charity at the end of the month. That will be chosen by the community.
Yeah, see, I've heard of No Shave November, and it sounds like it's pretty much the same idea.
It's the same concept, but raising money for charity.
And a lot of people will like shave off their entire beard before Movember so they can just grow back the mustache during Movember.
Yep.
Yeah,
I could think of doing that. I couldn't imagine taking all the money I've earned in a month and donating it to charity. Not because I don't want to give up the money, just because calculating how much that is sounds obnoxious.
Oh no,
Isn't it? I mean, can't you just look at your
is a great
payout?
Like,
well, where's the where do you do the cut? Like, do you just go how much like you literally earn? Like, if someone gifts a sub, do you donate $5, $2.50?
I would go from what I literally earn. I know I have some friends out there that are stupid with money and would just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna donate 50 subs, so you have to match it." All right, no, please don't do that because I can't afford to do that. Do bits instead. But Movember is a platform that's grown for the last decade plus. So the link for people to follow to donate directly will be posted around. But if anyone decides, oh, I'm going to do some bits, oh, I'm going to do a sub, anything I would have earned from that will go to charity. And I will match it to a level that I can afford to match.
So there you go, guys. Please support the shaving of beards everywhere. Noctis is clearly going to be joining this and shaving in November. I would, but I don't grow facial hair. I'm Asian, so you know.
Yeah, I've been attempting for a while now, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm afraid I still won't be participating this November.
Okay, I do have to say this, tFay. It is stereotypical. But I would like to point out that there was a famous Asian person, literally known for his facial hair. His name was Fu Manchu. He was
I mean, there's a reason that he is known for his facial hair because Asians don't have any.
It's just such a rare occurrence.
If you're gonna be the one who does, yes, you're gonna be famous.
Okay, I was thinking of him. He was actually the original villain in Detective Comics until Batman came along and took it over. Fun fact.
Oh, side note that I'm not sure I mentioned as well. When I do cut my hair, the hair will be donated to, I believe it's called Little Princess Trust, where they make wigs for kids with cancer.
Oh,
which is sad, but there's my bit. Someone else will be able to enjoy this glorious hair. It won't be gone forever.
Yes. That makes me happy that some little kid out there will be rocking the Scorch fro. Not fro, do I don't know, like locks. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
Is it gonna come with instructions like here are different ways you can use this hair?
Do not blow dry. Only let it air dry.
Literally, that's what I do.
Okay, I need to go to the bathroom and grab another beer, so I will be right back. Don't miss me too much.
Okay, how many Canadian Australian jokes can we make in like a couple minutes?
Oh, so many.
But I want to be here for this.
Mia.
Yep, so far so good. So far so good. Keep going. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Go
Lady _ Lazarus.
Yep, that's one.
Elita, which is one of her D&D names.
Can't remember that, you weirdo.
It was literally 2 days ago.
I've already forgotten my character's name. How do you remember?
Have you forgotten my character's name?
No, it's Indiana Gnomes, and he's a gnome archaeologist.
Okay, that's pretty great.
I loved it. I thought it was
I
amazing.
have to go now.
That is pretty great.
So I came to the group late. They've played a few sessions, but different commitments. I can now actually join them. So I had to make my character. Before I've been introduced, I'm just sat in listening as they're playing, and some comments made, and Lazz breaks character entirely, looks at the screen and says, "Scorch, if you're a wizard archaeologist, I'm going to hit you." And I just burst out laughing because I think, you don't even know my name yet. And I just kept repeating it. I repeated that name at least 6 times. You gotta do it like
freaking Rumpelstiltskin, like, all right. So if you're able to know my name, then you get power beyond all reason. Like, shit.
I should have done that.
You gotta play into it. You gotta play into it, like, you know.
I won't mention my name again and see if they can remember. Lazz clearly does, because it really frustrated her.
I'm just looking at her chair right now. Well, what model is that? Dotjin X? Ujin? I'm assuming that doesn't say Dojin. What is the brand on her chair?
It looks like GOWINX.
I was going to say DOLJNX. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Dowin X.
You've never looked at the brand of her chair and you've streamed with her how many times?
You can get it for $199.99.
Pay attention to the brand of the chair. Look how much shit is behind her, and the chair is pink.
Wait. They have.
I don't know. Maybe it's like because I use a gaming chair. Like when I see other people with gaming chairs, I have to know what brand they use, and it makes me feel like elitist and judgy. Where I'm like, oh, you're using that gaming chair? Like, gosh, that had terrible reviews.
This one has pretty good reviews, and you can get $30 off. Over.
Wait, you actually found it? What is the actual name of the brand?
Dowin X. That is the 6688 model. It's
Dowin. Okay.
tFay, yours is so good that you had to have a blanket over it to cover up all the branding and the fact it's a gaming chair.
Dude, they don't get sponsored, all right? If they want to be on brand for this stream, all right, they've got to pay me.
That's fair.
I'd be fun one day.
Shitty old office chair my mum stole from her office.
Oh, I did until my mom got tired of this chair and I switched it out for hers.
She got tired of the chair? I mean, she got tired of the chair, like it broke?
It's just not comfortable. Not comfortable for her.
Oh, I saw someone on Twitter.
It's one of those nights, is it?
Like literally they were like, how do I make this, like they said they named this really expensive gaming chair they got, and they're like, how do I make this comfortable because my family spent like this much money getting me this chair and I hate it. And I'm like, oh no.
You should have bought an office chair.
I mean, some of the really expensive gaming, I think maybe I shouldn't name brands, might get in trouble. But there's a really big brand.
Are they sponsoring you? Are they sponsoring you?
Oh, this one is extreme. This is not one of the expensive ones, and it is so fucking comfortable. It's one of the most comfortable chairs. I want to drag it everywhere with me forever.
I mean,
it's got a footrest. That's a $200 chair. Is that not expensive to you guys?
That was I think it was about 150 by Australian standards. That was really cheap because the really shitty gaming chairs in Australia were about 130.
Okay.
And that was all you could get unless you wanted like Auto Bunny or whatever it is.
So for the sake of people who wouldn't judge me, my chair underneath the turnips is a Secret Lab. I fully recommend them. I think they're a great brand. My grandmother was having back pains, and so she wanted a comfortable chair to sit in. And she literally just told me to get her the chair I use. I was like, really?
Okay.
And she's
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. Secret Labs is one of the ones I was thinking of. They look like the most uncomfortable chairs ever.
No. So
like,
if your goal is, so it depends on what you want. And this is sort of gonna be my mini rant. And leading on to what I was saying with my grandmother. So I got her literally the Secret Lab chair that I have, and I built for her, and it was great. It actually solved her problems, because the thing with Secret Lab, it basically is not cushioned, because it's supposed to like help force good posture on you. So it's not like one of the, like the chairs that you like sink into and you're like, yes, I just want to like sit here all day. It's, I'm going to be in this position. I'm going to be sitting on a chair for a really long time, and I don't want to feel like shit afterwards. So like they're kind of made to like force you to go. So like that's why I got Secret Lab personally, because I had a more cushioned chair before. But like if you sit in a cushioned chair, I don't know if anyone listening like can relate to this and like if you're sitting in a cushioned chair that's like puts you in an unnatural position for a really long time, it hurts like afterwards. Like I
Not
don't
just
like
that. When you come home late at night, really drunk, and you think, I'm 5 hours ahead of a lot of my friends. I'm going to go on Discord and see who's online.
And then you fall asleep.
And then you wake up 2 hours later and you're in a call and you're like, I don't know what happened. Why am
well,
I
that
here?
hasn't happened to me before, but there is that. Well, that's why I also like say like things like headrests are also good for literally that. So because I've seen people fall asleep in chairs and like their heads are like hanging like this. Like I'm like, oh gosh, that can't be. I saw someone fall asleep on stream.
Kind of like this.
Yeah, Scorch can fall asleep just kind of anywhere if he's drunk enough. See, my problem is with the first the armrests on your chairs, they look too hard. And I'm like, maybe I just have a particularly bony butt, but whenever I've sat in those chairs, my butt gets sore like after a really short period of time. So there's nothing there to look after it. And I have a really arched back, so I like the little pillow thing that comes with...
I hate the pillow thing. I actually removed mine.
Yeah, Chroma also hates it, but my back is super, super arched, so I need it there. Otherwise, it gets incredibly sore. So it's like there's nothing there to support it.
That's pretty much what I was going. All right, so like for all the people listening, like, hey, what kind of gaming chair should I get? Or I want a gaming chair versus an office chair. Think, what do you actually need in your chair? Like, there's this
going to be different depending on your spine.
Research, right? Do you say like, oh, the same brand of shoe like works for everybody? No, everyone's feet are different.
Office chairs are often also designed to be sat in for extended periods of time.
No, office chairs are also. No, yeah, I'm definitely not advocating.
This isn't the best thing ever.
Yes, doing that is definitely.
It popped slightly, and half of me was scared that Lazz was about to fall off the chair.
Oh, that would have been so funny, though.
You know how someone
it was going to happen.
So, all right, before I turned this into a joke, office chairs are legitimately good. I don't like most office chairs just because they don't have something for my head, but the actual chair itself is very. I just really like having the head pillow. But for a random joke / real story, the first time I ever saw a gaming chair, it was when it was DX Racer. And they were sponsoring a streamer, and the streamer would always say things like, "Hey, you know you gotta get this chair, right? It's like the pro gaming chair." And you know what the best part is? And he'd lean back like Lazz doing. Is like, it's a fat chair. I mean, you know, like, you know, you get home at night, you're stressed from work, you know, and you know you're watching your porn, and you know you don't have it in your room, so you get you know you just want to lean back in your chair. Well, this chair's got it for you.
Oh, that's incredible! I love that.
Please don't call your chair that, and I'm going to ruin it for you too, because often you'll be out volunteering, doing your volunteer stuff, and Chroma will hop into a VC with me and some other people. And then he'll be like, oh, I gotta go. And we joke, you're just gonna go fap. And he'll be like, yeah, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. And then he'll be gone for a while. I think he's using your chair to fap.
Nah, he hates my chair and I know it. So
yeah.
He doesn't like he likes his chair.
He hates gaming in it.
Nah, he likes his chair because it's more cushioned. And you know what? He probably is fapping in his chair. There's a reason why I don't sit in it.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's enough fap talk for the rest of my life. Let's move on.
I was just making an anecdote. I was not trying to start a conversation.
Tomorrow, Lazz, where we talk about fapping.
No.
It's gonna happen.
I don't want to. You can't make me. Oh dear God.
Where's the channel reward for your podcast? Make Lazz talk about fapping for 5 minutes.
I've said such a long time. How am I meant to talk about this for 5 minutes?
There's so many jokes I could have made to that. I didn't know to start.
Oh, I'm glad I brought the wine down. I had a feeling I needed wine. I don't know what it was, but something told me, bring the goon sack. You're going to need it.
Because we were talking about Rule 34, and then what's the worst thing you've Googled? Honestly, if my throat wasn't messed up, I'd be drinking.
Oh, do you want me to send you a link to that Rule 34?
Yeah, for anyone listening who's wondering where is Noctis, he is here. Well, I guess it's more for the audio only. he is unable to talk as much because, all jokes aside, he did deep throat a cactus. But then that joke aside, his throat is just really out of it because he deep throated a cactus.
It's
but
either tonsillitis or
it's tonsillitis or herpes. WebMD was very clear. It's one of those two.
And you're definitely going to die from them.
And I'm definitely going to die from it.
Yeah.
I did see, like, you got me looking at the Secret Lab website and looking at all of the brands that you can get the special edition of. There's some cool ones in here, I gotta be honest. There's a Superman one that I really want. There's a Flash one, and then a Cyberpunk 2077. That's gotta be everyone's favorite.
There's one that has, I don't know if it's Secret Lab. There's two main brands. I can never remember all of their names. They're all very expensive and I can't afford them. But there's one that's like purple and white and it has like holographic like lining and it's really pretty, but
that sounds tacky as hell.
Yeah, it is. Well, they have one here. It looks like the one you
is
just
that the Galarian Rapidash version of chairs?
Basically, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's like KDA
tFay is ugly and essentially to go fuck himself. You've been very aggressive to our host.
Well, he is being aggressive to me because he said that he hates Galarian Rapidash. Now he's saying that my favorite chair is tacky.
They have an Ari one from League of Legends.
Can I trust you to behave yourself while I go pee?
Absolutely not.
I agree.
Let's just be very clear.
You're just asking yourself for disappointment.
Yeah, no one is on their best behavior.
I'm going to go back and listen to this part of the podcast just to make sure Lazz behaved herself.
All right, well, we're at 1 hour into recording. We're at 1 hour into recording if you want to come back later.
Like, I already said I wouldn't behave myself. I don't know what he's checking for.
I don't know. You know what we should do? We should just consistently talk about fapping until he comes back. It's like, you missed it. You missed
it. We talked about so much fapping. Okay, but seriously,
it'd also be funny just to be silent for like 5 minutes. So when he goes back to listen to it, he's gonna think there's something wrong.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk via holding up signs, so we can communicate. But nobody, but he will. If he's only listening, he won't hear anything.
No, he'll go back. He'll go back and watch it on like Twitch tomorrow. But even better, why don't we can just all because now he's gonna know. So talking.
No. When he comes back, we should just all not say anything and wait to see how long we can just keep that up. And he'll just be like wondering why there's silence.
Do you guys want to like you could mute your mics and we could just like talk like normal?
That's what I was thinking, and then he'll just think there's an audio issue. But then I was like, but now we've just said it, so he's gonna know.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. All right.
I mean, we can still have the live reaction because he doesn't know now that's what we're doing. He'll know later that's what we're doing. So we can still do that.
That's true. So when we see him come back and he's like, before he puts his headphones on, just mute our mics and talk, and then just occasionally laugh. And if one of us like laughs hysterically,
I
just follow suit.
Discord, and I can still talk to the chat. They'll hear me, but he can't because he doesn't have my stream on.
We just love fucking with Scorch. Okay, but on a more serious note, why is it called fapping?
Because that's the onomatopoeia of the sound of when of I don't want to use the word to define the word. But it's pretty much it's the onomatopoeia of it. Yeah,
Lazz, take your fist, take an open palm, and do that noise, and there you go. That's the fap noise.
I would not call that a fap sound. That's just slapping. It's just a slap sound. Where did the F come from? Why? Who came up with this? What man decided this was correct?
If you're gonna take the F from fucking and combine it with slapping, and you're gonna combine them together.
Okay. Now that makes the most sense of anything I've heard.
I just made it up right now, so I have no idea.
So the origin is 1999. It was the imitative of the sound of a male masturbating, coined by an artist whose pen name is Clay, on his webcomic The Thin H Line. H referring to hentai. The Thin H Line. The Thin...
I'm gonna be right back again. What the fuck am I just come back to?
It's not important, all right? Just listen, I'm trying to track this down. Clay Comics. Here we go.
Kind of dead air, but we're also just sat here waiting in anticipation of what the fuck Noctis is on about.
Say what?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
That I can't hear Lazz.
I can hear Lazz just fine. Noctis, can you hear Lazz?
I can hear Lazz.
I think it's just you, Scorch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's that? Scorch owes you money. Scorch! How could you do that?
Like $200, honestly. It's ridiculous.
Honestly, I realized now there was the option you can deafen someone. So we could have deafened.
I was thinking of that, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want any icons to appear in Discord because he actually was looking at that.
Yeah, and he's been deafened a lot in his time, so he would notice it pretty quickly. Oh, it's all right, Scorch. We were just fucking with you. Don't worry about it.
That's what I assumed.
I mean, let's test.
$200 Canadian for you.
So I deafened him, and let's see if he actually notices. You know how long it is face and see that
I told you, it took him like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, did you write Canadian dollars instead of Canadian?
Canadian.
You wrote Canadian dollars.
It's fake money. It doesn't matter.
I'm from Candyland now. Dear Lord.
I always described Canada money as
so Scorch, while you were gone, Lazz legitimately was asking why fapping is called fapping, and so we had to give a lesson on that.
I didn't like the answer.
Oh, is that what I came back to?
Yeah.
I don't actually remember the exact moment you came back, to be fair.
Oh
yeah, I think that was mostly
Noctis was saying some shit, and I was like, I can't hear tFay laughing. Lazz could quite easily have just had herself muted, so that was believable.
No, I did ask why it was
am I the only streamer who doesn't have the mic on cam? I feel like it's such most streamers have like their microphones like right next to them, and I have mine like just off camera so nobody ever can see it.
I have to have mine here because if I have it anywhere else, then you can hear you can already hear chroma coming through, and so I've got it on like the lowest. I don't know.
I also just realized my mic was not actually facing me, so I hope my audio wasn't shit this entire time for the viewers.
This is why I have my mic near me.
Having it close to my face usually means I don't talk quite as loud. Vixen can attest that I can be kind of loud when I'm streaming.
Noctis, you having the mic next to you has definitely not made you not loud, as I can attest multiple times when I say, Noctis, you're too loud, you're cracking your mic.
No, like in comparison to when it was just the mic that sat on our desk in front of us, I would project more, and now I don't have to as much.
I mean, I could bring the mic closer to me, but that will probably slightly change the audio quality just enough that nobody except Legion will notice, and he will yell at me.
And do it.
No, you don't want that.
I've set up. I had an audio specialist help me set up all of my crap because audio, out of all of the tech bullshit I can do, audio is the one that I just have absolutely zero idea.
I can spend hours playing around and making the most unnecessary things on my overlay that nobody else but me will understand. You ask me to fix my audio, and I'm like, eh.
That's me. I had
that's about the extent of my ability.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea. And Naz was like, "Oh, Lazz, your audio is bleep 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 bleep," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Do these 3 things," and I was like, "Okay."
I hate it when my audio's bleep, bleep, bleep,
Tried to do
bleep.
the same with me.
Bleep,
I
bleep,
spent half an hour with him when I bought a new mic, and was just like, just tell me how to make it sound good. And he was like, click this, this, and this.
Yep.
Does it sound
the worst
good?
though?
Yes.
All right.
Good for me.
So my viewer, like Legion, is one of my oldest viewers, and he has, I don't even know how to describe his ears. His ears are like obscene. Like if I changed like my gain by 0.01, like which legitimately will do nothing, he'll notice. He'll be like, something's different. You changed something and it's bothering me, and I'm like, what are you even hearing? Like nobody else.
Honestly, that is Naz. So I forget what it was, but someone had like, what was it? They'd changed their, like, you know how the audio output, it's like stereo, surround, bass, like that had been changed during a Windows update or something. And Naz was like, your audio is completely different. Everything is ruined. You must fix it. It wasn't to me, but it was just someone we knew. I can't even remember who it was. Might have been you, Scorch.
It was when we first started podcasting. Like when I did my streams, it was absolutely fine. But the first 2 or 3 episodes of our podcast, Naz was like, Scorch, you sound really bassy. I'm like, what? Yep. No one else noticed anything.
No, everyone else was like, sounds fine to me.
Really bassy.
Like, yeah.
And I changed. I think it was a couple of episodes later. He was like, "Oh, your audio sounds okay now. What have you changed?" I was like, "Absolutely nothing. It just fixed itself."
Literally me. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Everyone was saying that like my mic was like dying the other day, and I was having a panic attack. I was like, "Oh great!" Not only like I changed nothing. Like I don't even know how to fix the nothing. I just ended up changing the USB port that my mic was plugged in, and it seemed to fix it. So I don't know if my USB port was just dying on me, which ironically would be the best problem to have, because I could just get more USB ports.
Yeah, that's easier than getting, like, that's easier and cheaper than getting a whole new goddamn mic.
Yeah, I don't want to. If anything, I want to get a new mic right after a new mic comes out, so that way all the old mics go cheaper. It's kind of like right after Halloween, how it's the best time to get candy.
Oh, I was going to say get new home decor, but yeah, candy, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, home decor as well, but everyone's just going to swap it out for Christmas stuff. I'm going to be like...
Nah. I just put like a tinsel wreath on my like bone bird, and I'm like, there you go, it's Christmas now, everything's fine. I legit have like these little like those little like animal like skeletons throughout my house. And when my dog sitter came in, very like the first time she came was like, I think it was like mid or end of September, and she sent me a text and she was like, hey, had a great time, the animals were great, really enjoyed your early Halloween decor, it was so thematic. And I was like, yes, Halloween decor.
Yes, that's clearly what it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit, the next, like, and then it was October, so I was like, okay, I can play this off like it's still Halloween decor. And I'm like, after it's Halloween, am I gonna have to like put them away because it's weird now if I don't?
No, you gotta say that you're still keeping it up for Australian Halloween. And they're gonna be like, what's that? And you're like, it's
in Australia we have it in early Christmas.
It's in December. and then there's Australian
Valentine's Day, which
Australian
is also creepy.
Horror Valentine's Day, yeah, because Australians think love is dead.
We celebrate the St. Valentine's Day massacre.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there you go. I've got it sorted. Thank you. You've inspired me.
Yeah, just make up stuff. Make up reasons for everything.
You'll be fine.
I just really like spooky I really like pink, and I really like Halloween skeletons. It all just comes together nicely.
So what we need is a dead Galarian Rapidash.
Honestly, I would take it. I saw a unicorn skull at Home Depot, and I so badly wanted to buy it.
Places.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they have a lot of Halloween decor at Home Depot. It doesn't make sense to me. And I really want to buy this.
Home Depot in Canada?
Yeah.
Huh.
They have homes in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Home Depot is very, very American. So I didn't know. I'm surprised.
Is it actually American? I mean, what would be the non-American equivalent of Home Depot?
Canadian Tire. We have Canadian Tire and something called BMR here, which are both. I think BMR might be Quebecois, but Canadian Tire is Canadian, obviously. It's
Apparently
better.
we have Home Depot in the UK as well.
Home Depot.
Maybe it's because of in Montana here, there's like 5 different chains of hardware stores. So I just assumed that Canada would have one that's more them.
They have quite a few here, to be honest. Maybe it's because in Australia we had one. So when I came here and it was like, oh, where do you get like, home fixie stuff? Now we're like, oh, well, you have blah 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 blah.
Did you just
and it
say,
went on for
where
like
do you
80
get
years.
fixie stuff?
I was wrong. We don't have a Home Depot.
You heard me correct. I said what I said.
That's like the most. You know how there's ways to tell how people don't know what they're talking about and they just want you to fix all their problems? When someone goes into a Home Depot and says, I need the fixie stuff.
You know what's even more funny is that for the last like 3-4 months, I've been volunteering for a home renovation company.
They clearly got you for your skills with fixie stuff.
I'm actually very good. I don't know the names of anything because it's all... They keep giving me the names in French. So I don't know the names of anything.
Le fixie.
Le fixois?
I feel like it's borderline offensive to just assume that's how French works. Add an accent and add like "what" to things.
Nah, I live in Quebec now. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
If there's anyone that is mad at me for pronouncing French like that, I welcome you to DM me, and I will not apologize because I don't apologize for anything.
No. First, they gotta add you as a friend on Discord, and then they're gonna yell at you because there's an order to things.
Oh, I see. I understand.
Okay.
Like, I don't even know why people add people as friends on Facebook or not Facebook, on Discord for the most part. Like, you need to be friends in order to add them to a group DM.
And that's it.
Fine, right? Like I saw someone who was advertising to me, like, hey, do you need an artist for this, that, and this? And they're like adding me as a friend on Discord. I'm like,
no.
You're already DMing me. Do you have other artist friends?
Maybe there's nothing wrong with being friends on Discord.
Nah, it's weird.
It's weird if I don't know you.
I get so many requests from people I don't know, and I'm like, we have one group in common. We've literally never spoken, and you're trying to add me as a friend.
The only thing it is good for is for actually keeping the close people that you interact with regularly. Yeah. So you can be like, oh, they're all in this Discord.
Any of my actual friends.
Yes.
And
I only ever
decide to add me as a friend on Discord. I'd be like, sure. Right? But if it's someone, imagine someone joins the Discord community for the very first time. And, I have open DMs, and then they DM me as Sesko, and then they add me as a friend. I'll be like, who are you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do you need the fixie?
In fairness, props to Discord for being the only social media where it's like, you know what? My friends are the people I want to be friends with.
I'm friends with tFay and Scorch on Discord, but not Lazz. I wonder why.
Rude.
What did I do?
I don't remember. Wait, am I friends with Scorch on Discord?
I bet we're not. Because I'm with tFay on this. I'm like, you've DM'd me already.
Well, DM me doesn't mean that we're friends on Discord. That doesn't mean we've DM'd on Discord.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm just like, we've DM'd. We don't need to be friends. Oh, yep. No, it says send friend request here.
Oh, yep. Add friend.
Faye's just crying in the corner. It's fine.
Have a friend request.
Okay, fine. I'll accept. I never DM Lazz, so I guess there's no reason to add her. She doesn't like DMs anyway.
Apparently.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I never said I don't like DMs. I said I don't like DMs from strangers I've never spoken to because it's fucking creepy.
Noctis, I need you to judge this meme that Scorch just threw in the Pokemon channel. I asked my dad to name the evolutions. I was not disappointed. I'll be honest, apparently Goth Dog.
No, read out the names and see if he can guess what it is.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, I spoiled Goth Dog, though I think that was the most obvious one.
Shit. Okay, wait. I almost.
These are great.
I went and looked. I looked at Goth Dog. I didn't read any of the others.
All right. So I'm gonna name the rest and see if you can figure it out in no particular
Okay.
order. So we
Okay.
have Mermaid Dog,
Vaporeon.
Weird Cat.
Flareon
Nope.
or Jolteon.
Nope.
Weird cat. Is that just Eevee?
Nope. That is another one that I'll have to give you name.
Come back to that.
All right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to it. There's
Process of elimination.
Stoner Dog.
Stoner Dog? What?
Oh, come on! You can't get that one. I thought that was pretty obvious.
Is it? Leafeon? No.
Yeah. Yes, it's Leafeon.
Is it Leafeon?
Why would it not
Okay.
be Leafeon? How do you get stoned?
Yeah, from
yeah.
leaves, magical leaves.
I'm not a druggie, all right.
All right.
I
What
take
about,
zero offense
all right,
to that.
so-
How
all right,
dare
all
you?
right. This is like the freest one. All right. I feel really bad. All right. Thor's dog.
That's Jolteon.
Okay, there you go. All right. Fashion dog.
Sylveon.
Gatorade dog.
Gatorade Dog? That's a... What the...
I think that's my
Dog?
favorite out of all the names. Gatorade dog.
Is it Glaceon?
It is Glaceon.
Yeah.
Just based on the color, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I assumed too, because that is
So
the
good.
best flavor of Gatorade.
Correct.
No,
Yeah,
the
one thing we
Gatorade's not
agree
very
on.
good.
The
More of a
neighbor's
Powerade.
dog.
Boy, here I go killing again.
Is that Flareon?
That is Flareon.
Hey, good one.
So you should now be able to tell what is Weird Cat by process of elimination.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through and figure out. Is that Espeon?
It is Espeon. All right, and then Eevee is the fox dog thing.
I mean,
I mean,
honestly,
Not inaccurate.
yeah, I feel like
No,
they're
it is
all-
not inaccurate.
all of them. I read them and I was like, I see it.
Then you,
How
then you see
Ga-
neighbor's dog.
Gatorade
Like,
dog?
your
Nah.
neighbor has a Flareon.
You know, I actually
I think-
find I wish I could like erase my memory. I find how a lot of Pokemon are perceived by non-Pokemon people to be fascinating. Like I saw
Yeah.
another one of the very original like draw Pokemon from memory when you don't know Pokemon at all challenges, and the Pokemon to draw was Abra. It was like a competition between people to see who can draw the most accurate Abra, and someone drew an Ekans. And then they drew a really good Ekans, but they're like, "That's not Abra." He's like, "Oh, I was thinking Arbok." And they're like, "No, it's not Arbok."
Oh, okay.
Oh, bless
They,
them.
well, they tried.
Bless
And
their
I'm just
silly
like-
little heart.
I would have called Glaceon Diamond Dog, if anything.
And
I
'cause
I
it has,
personally
like,
really like
diamonds all over
Gatorade. I like Gatorade dog.
I don't. That's probably my least favorite on there.
That's my
The
favorite. I
the
think that's so
Gatorade dog
funny.
is all right. Stoner dog is definitely the most clever in my opinion.
Oh, you could have said vegan or as well.
No,
That
vegan
is
dog
in
I
there.
don't like as much as stoner dog.
No,
It
Soda
does
Dog's
say-
better.
It does say vegan or stoner dog.
Yeah, I like I think stoner
like
dog is
stoner
more on
dog.
point. I think mermaid dog is good. Thor's dog is good. I think the neighbor's dog is really clever.
No, actually, now I just want that sounds like a fun one where you just have someone like I'm trying to think of who I know that doesn't know Pokemon at all.
I know
And that-
one person, my friend Katie, who came over like a month ago from the States. She was never allowed to watch Pokemon. I think her parents thought it was like the devil or something.
Oh my gosh. One of the people in the
To get her to
video,
look bad.
right? So this is like this is the girl, and she was telling the story of how she doesn't know Pokemon, and it was so depressing. And she was like, she has two brothers, and when Pokemon came out, she wanted to play Pokemon, and they said, "No, you can't play. It's on the Game Boy." And I
Aw.
was like, "Oh no!" And so just like, so I was never able to
That-
play Pokemon growing up, and I'm like, that's so
How siblings are
sad.
mean.
Oh my god. So toxic gamer boys start really early. It sounds like.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck that.
you know, boy-girl exclusion is not exactly isn't really a new thing at a young age. They just find dumb ways of doing it. I mean, I still remember all the children.
Is that as a girl, you're taught to be nice and like please everyone else. I was not about that, clearly. So when my cousins, who were all male, told me that I couldn't do something, I would punch them and do it anyway.
Huh.
But that's when I learned the very famous phrase of "fuck politeness."
That's one way of doing it, I guess.
That's how I enjoyed my childhood, and that's a lesson to all young women out there.
just punch people.
Fuck the system, punch people.
Look, I feel like as women, if we just punched men more often, we would get murdered way less frequently. Just saying.
That's fair.
Am I wrong though?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like many people, if they started punching people more, they would get murdered less frequently. Women or men is, I feel like it's just a universal thing. If everyone was just always punching everybody in the face, they would get murdered less frequently.
I don't know.
No,
like, if I'm walking down the street and I get randomly punched by someone, I have the urge to kill them.
It wouldn't be random. It would be like if you catcalled someone and then it's just like a punch to the face. Maybe you'd learn don't fucking catcall people. It's not random. There's reasons behind it.
If you're working at Home Depot and somebody comes in and asks you to help them find the fixie thing, that deserves to be punched in the face.
But where's the fixie things?
I just want to fixie. I don't understand.
It's like, oh my gosh. They're just going to give you some like obscene tool.
Yeah.
What's
your favorite fixie thing?
My favorite fixie thing.
Oh, I know my answer.
Okay.
My favorite fixie thing is probably a screwdriver where you could swap out the heads, whether it be a power drill or not, just because not having to carry around fit like 10 different screwdrivers because you're not sure exactly which one will fit in this very obscure like thing. It's like, oh hey, can you unscrew this for mine? And you're like looking like, all right, fuck, my tool bag's like downstairs, but I don't want to bring up all my screwdrivers. Which one's gonna work? Right?
You like the multi tool. Okay.
I mean, I guess I like practical.
The options.
That's practical.
I like pliers because they give you superhuman strength.
That's not inaccurate.
You try and pull a nail out of a wall and like it's just going fucking nowhere. You get some pliers on that and boom, the nail's in the other wall because you've pulled it out that hard.
That is so relatable.
See, okay, I was going for what's the most fun over what's like practical. I really like a tile cutter or a ceramic cutter because you have to like you cut something and you see the line that it's making and then you have to slam it down really hard and it breaks the tile in two and then you feel like fucking Superwoman and you kind of got to punch a tile in half.
I like when you said a tile cutter, I thought you meant like an actual tile saw.
No. Like the proper ones that cut like tiles in half. So what you do is you kind of like score a line in it so it doesn't actually cut it. And then you kind of bang on the top of it and it splits it in half. So it makes you feel like your hand is splitting it in half. And so you feel like a fucking superhero and it's rad. It's so much fun.
It looks like
you're really on a really aggressive mood today.
Apparently, it looks
that's what happens when you diss her favorite Pokemon.
Yeah,
you can love it the way you said it.
Oh, honestly, it's so much fun. I feel like everyone needs to try it. It is so much fun to use.
It does sound fun.
They are available at the Home Depot.
Yeah,
tile cutters.
Yeah,
Home Depot.
Even I say Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're upside down.
You're not wrong.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you get the Anvil 14-inch ceramic and porcelain tile cutter for $27.98.
It's not the hand ones. It's the ones that sit on the floor.
Yeah, this one looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know there are hand ones as well, but they're for fucking amateurs.
No, this one looks like you set it on the ground.
Yeah.
And you got a nice little lever looking thing.
Yes.
The QEP 24-inch looks a lot nicer. It's described as professional.
Okay. Yeah, good.
Well, because it's got wider gap between rails for better
When
scrolling
I see
visibility.
professional as a description for a tool, my question is, are you paying me to use it? If I'm making money from using it, then I don't see why this is professional.
Because this is what professionals use. You don't get any of that bullshit 14-inch anvil hobby tile cutter. Nah, this is much nicer.
None of that hobby nonsense.
Yes,
What
exactly.
professionals? Well, show me professionals. At least be sponsored by someone. Say like, this famous fixer person that you clearly know uses this tool. At least that tells me something. Even if it's, fake sponsorship, whatever. Like, if you tell me, like, The Rock uses this product, all right? That's telling me a professional is using that product.
Unless a professional fixer uses it.
Lazz, why aren't you streaming your work? There's a gap in the market on Twitch for that.
I think you mean my volunteer work.
Home improvement? That would be really cool. I've thought about doing that.
If you tell me that they used it on home improvement, or if you say like, this is the thing they used to build all those contraptions on Mythbusters, put some kind of marketing on it that like is relatable.
I mean,
they use a lot of tools in Mythbusters. That would be. Yeah. I feel like that.
Yeah, think of how easy that would be. But think of think of how many more tools would sell if they just wrote "used on Mythbusters."
But why would they use a tile cutter?
I mean, how many nerds are buying tools?
Yeah.
Nerds would love buying tools.
Yeah, because we need to make lightsabers, duh.
I love lightsabers.
Okay. How many nerds are buying tools for home improvement and not for arts and crafts?
Honestly,
it's all about how you cleverly use it. A student at my old school, at my old job, they were allowed to 3D print stuff, right? But obviously nothing inappropriate, so you couldn't go making like your 3D printed dildos, right? But now what the guy did is that he wanted to make a gun from Valorant, and so he literally 3D printed every single component individually, and then so it just looked like random cylinders and bars and stuff like that. And then one day he comes in, he has a Valorant gun, and we're like, "What? How'd you make that?" He's just like, it's like all the components pieced together. He like engineered the entire thing, and I was just like, I don't know whether to be impressed. I don't know whether to call you an idiot for breaking it in.
I mean, that's kind of awesome, though.
I mean, don't they have? If you have the Valorant, I'm looking for the model. I wonder if they have the gun 3D model, because things like there's Thingiverse and websites like that, Sketchfab, that will have the 3D model of it.
Inner components. I wouldn't imagine. No, I would imagine you could get a 3D model of the entire thing at once if you have a big enough 3D printer. But I think if you're gonna put it together as components, you have to sort of figure it out on your own how they all put together. I wouldn't imagine
it's kind of, you can still use a 3D printer, but it's basically just like Lego, except with glue. It's a lot messier.
No. Like, if you build the well, I guess I'm looking at the Wasteland Sheriff model. Trying to fit I don't know. 3D printing has always been beyond me. I can do some cool stuff with the laser I have at work.
Oh, I want a laser printer.
No, it's not. It's not a laser print. It's just a. It's just a laser. It's a CO2 laser.
Are as exciting as you think they are.
No, I meant the not a laser printer. I meant a laser cutter. Sorry, that's what I was thinking.
I was gonna say laser printers is a very standard thing you can buy.
I mean, look, honestly, I also want a laser printer, and I don't. Even have
a lot of people.
That,
I also have thought about getting a laser printer, but I also can use the printer at work, so
Yeah.
I'm working in home renovation, so a laser printer is not something that we require. But I do have access to a tile cutter. If anyone.
Is it a professional? If not,
is that what Scorch is using to cut his beard?
Super profesh.
What? What is called my beard?
The tile cutter.
Laser cutter. Oh, I thought we were using a laser cutter.
I don't know either.
I feel like the laser cutter is way more James Bond.
I have you can cut wood with the laser, but You can't really cut anything super cool.
I don't think the tile cutter would work.
It would. It definitely would. It's
To cut your hair?
very sharp. Yeah.
I mean, Scorch might be dead in the process.
Good.
Part of the point. I don't think it would work.
I mean, it would cut the beard. It would just maybe cut other things in the process.
Yeah, but if I'm dead, what's the point of cutting the rest of it?
I was just asked if
It's
it
literally
would
like
cut
a
it.
oh my
Not if
gosh.
you would- I was just asked if it would cut it, not if you would survive.
I don't know
I
if
would
this is
think-
all right. This is literally how my mentality works. A student wrote on the board the other day, "Do you want to play a game?" And I thought they were making a Saw reference, and I was getting angry at them. I was like, "That is not appropriate." Just like, what are you talking about? And then I literally kept reading. After it says, "Do you want to play a game?" It says, "Kahoot, heads down, 7 up." I was like, "Oh shit."
And you're like, we are not playing Saw in this classroom. How dare you suggest that?
Did,
like,
did you
"What's
feel
Saw,
old
sir?"
when you're like, that's Saw? And they're like, what's Saw?
No, that's not when I felt old.
What? Okay, wait. What? I think you have told me this before, but what age range do you teach, and what is how have they made you feel old?
I teach geometry, and they range everything from 7th to 11th grade in my class because I
So
have everything
what's
from the really
the-
smart kids to the really dumb kids.
What's the worst? Not the worst thing, but what's the thing that's made you feel the most old that one of your students has said that really
what some of my
fascinates me?
students have said that makes
Yeah.
me feel old.
Yeah.
What makes tFay feel old?
So this wasn't this year, but in a previous
Doesn't
year.
have to be this year.
All right, so
Any
in
year.
previous year, someone said, do you know, and then they named my brother's name, all right, who on record is 5 years younger than me. And I said, yeah, right? And and then they're like, is he your son? And I was like, oh.
Oh god. Oh no.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wow.
When I had a 15-year-old kid. He looked like he was just starting high school. Held open the door. I was 22 at the time. Held the door open for me and said, "There you go, sir." And I was like, "The fuck does that mean?"
Fuck you,
Sir? Sir? I'm not old enough to be called sir.
You slammed the door in my face like I'm one of your friends this instant.
Exactly.
Oh, I got the bus home from work. I think it wasn't today. I think it was yesterday. And I was getting on I finished work a little bit early, so I was getting on the bus and it was like school time. And I got on the bus and, it's all French, but I did the thing and I got on and it was completely full and I was standing. And like a kid stood up and offered me their seat and I was like, oh, no, it's okay. And they sort of said it, because I kind of just said like, I just like shook my head kind of thing, like, no, it's cool. And they said, oh no, please sit. They said it in French, I imagine. And I was like, oh, I don't speak French, but it's fine. You can sit. And they were like, no, we're obliged to offer our seats to any obvious non-students. And I was like, huh? How could you offend me? I mean, I was obviously not a student, but I was still like, rude. No, I do not need your seat. I'm not an elderly person. How dare you? And I was like, I'm fine. And then stubbornly stood even though my legs were killing me and my back was sore.
So it was Google's birthday recently, and someone I work with literally could not fathom the fact that I was older than Google. He literally couldn't understand it and asked me about it several times. I was like,
okay.
it's Google's birthday. I'm older than Google. And he was like, what do you mean you're older than Google?
So this happened recently. This actually was pretty recent and it made me feel old. So I gave my kids a project, right? Which involves some bit of research, And they were like, they needed a definition. And they were complaining to me because the definition Google gave them wasn't good. And I said, how many sites have you looked at? Like, what do you mean sites? And they showed me, like, they just typed in the word and they used the definition, just Google autofills, the little box there. I was like, have you tried like clicking like this link like right here? And I clicked it for them and it was like a really good definition. They're like, oh no, we don't click links. We just we just go by whatever is displayed on the search page. And I was like,
That shouldn't make you feel old. That should
I
make
think that just make you feel
live in
smart.
dismay.
No, that made me feel the fact that the generation has moved on that much, because when I first, before, at least for me, right, I was taught you have to go beyond the first page of Google, right? Because we're too lazy to go onto the second page. Now you have to click on links in Google is what we have to teach these kids. Like, they don't even know how to search up things. They're like, I don't know how to find a good definition. I was like, you tried typing in for dummies afterwards? And they're like, oh, thanks. It works. All right. If you
Did you legitimately say that to one of your students? Have you tried typing in for dummies?
I've also told a student, all right, I had a kid who legitimately was stressed. He was stressed and he came to me after school for help because he couldn't figure out the homework. And I showed it to him and it was like, oh, that's easy. I'm like, oh yeah, see, you already know how to do this. You're just making dumb mistakes. It's not that you don't know the material. You just suck at math. He's like, yeah, great.
Honestly, I relate.
Which is 100%. I tell my students, I'm like, see, I cannot magically make you fill in the years of your life where you did not learn math properly. But if you're understanding what I'm teaching you, then we're good. All right, we'll work through the rest of it. But I did my job.
I've done my job, that's all I can do.
You understand my class. If you lack prerequisites, we'll work through that. But I just need to know that it's not me.
See, I feel like when I was growing up, oh god, that makes me feel so old. Back in my day.
Yeah, see, that's when you feel old right now. When you say, back when I was growing up, not like yesterday.
Yesterday, no, back when I was growing up, dear Lord, I was taught that I was a high achiever in everything. And most things did come very easy, but math was something, it's the worst. Math was something I actually had to try at. So I had to actually put in effort. Everything else, it came very naturally and I didn't have to do anything really. Like I could speed read, so I would speed through the material and I would know it. Math, I had to go to the effort of learning. So I was like, well, I'm bad at math. That's just how it is. I'm bad at math. And then I had, for my first 2 years, I don't know how it works, but in Australia, it's like, it doesn't matter. My first 2 years of high school.
You could tell she learned a lot.
Look, man. No, good. I was good. I was in the top math class and I was like, I had major imposter syndrome and I was like, I'm bluffing my way through. Don't know what I'm doing. And then I had one really bad maths teacher in year 9 that was, I mean, he was fresh out of university himself and he was teaching like 13-year-old girls at an all-girls school and he was really awkward and so everyone just gave him so much shit, including myself, because year 9 was my rebellious year. Ha ha ha. It was the only year I ever did anything.
As in singular?
Yeah, it was the only year. I was an ace, like good little goody two-shoes fucking nerd.
Except for when you punched boys when they wouldn't let you do stuff.
No, that was just my cousins. They don't count.
I mean, I tried to punch Scorch, but he's in another country.
No, he'll make me cocktails. I would never punch Scorch.
I told them about the D&D where I wasn't even introduced, and you said, "I swear to God, if you're an archaeologist wizard, I'm going to punch you."
I didn't say that. And he is an archaeologist wizard.
Indiana Gnomes.
Yeah. Well, I could just see that your name was Indiana on the like program we were using, and I saw that and I was like, oh fucking hell no. No.
Hey, maybe he was being really fanboyish and he was like some kind of dog character. All right? Because, the real fans know that Indiana doesn't actually refer to Indiana Jones because that's not his name. All right?
His name is a dog.
All right? It's the name of the dog. The movies are all named after, for anyone who does not know, all right, who does not.
I did actually know that.
All right?
I forgot I knew that, but I was like,
named
after
the
You
dog.
know when facts leave your head and someone mentions it and you're like,
oh yeah,
shit, I've heard that before. That's just what happens.
We hear from Sean Connery in The Last Crusade.
Yep.
That's who he's named after.
Either way, Indiana Gnomes is still a funny name.
It is.
About as funny as Sherlock Gnomes.
I would
I feel
argue
like
funnier.
there are two types of like D&D troll players, and it's the ones that are min maxes that everyone just hates, and then there's the Indiana gnomes of the group.
I'm a D&D noob. Give me some slack. I don't know which group I'm part of. Oh wait, it's the Indiana Gnomes one.
You got it. A+.
This
means,
is why you're in the Indiana Gnomes group.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means though.
I think I've got a meme for it somewhere, and it's something. Oh fuck! I think I saved it, and it was something like, someone's like, "Oh, can I join your D&D group?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure. Just know that I don't accept anyone who." It was worded way better than this, but it was saying along the lines of like, I don't want someone that's a like 2-part life cleric with 3-part barbarian and does 120 hits in one round, but I also don't want someone that meets the dragon and is like, so do you fight fire? And I'm like, Scorch is the second one.
You want the second one?
I don't understand the appeal of D&D.
Oh, D&D is the best.
Okay, so as someone who doesn't play D&D, let's try to see if I can explain the appeal for D&D. All right, so some people who aren't too busy deep throating cactuses have this thing called imagination. Right? Imagine the rainbow above my head. And basically, D&D...
Oh, sorry, I don't have no imagination. I can't imagine a fucking rainbow.
Right?
And there's the problem, really.
So D&D basically gives people a focused way to not only share a visualization of their own imagination and ideas, but to put a pseudo-competitive gameplay that gives you a sense of achievement through the use of your imagination, right? So, like, I heard a story of D&D where someone was like, all right, how do you defeat the guy? And he was like, all right, I'm a warrior with a spear. It's like, do you throw the spear? No. Do you stab him with the spear? No. What do? I'm going to throw the spear in the air, and then I'm going to punch it really hard so that it goes flying, and then one hits KOs the guy. And it's like, okay, well, you have to roll a nat 20 to actually get that to happen. Go ahead. He rolls the dice. It's like, nat 20. Fuck yeah! And then I'm like, God damn it! And so now he has to come up with this dumb story describing the guy chucking a spear into the air and punching it. And it's just like, especially when you have a good, like, GM, depending on whatever you want to call it. Like, when you describe something ridiculous and they have to work the way around it. Like, I've seen games where people are like, I want to put all my points into smell. And so it's like, can I do a smell check? And they're like, what the hell is that? It's like, it's just where I smell and notice things. Like, it's like flipping through papers. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna make up some numbers on what actually will work. This will be like some pseudo perception thing, but sure, you can have a smell check. And then it's like, you smell something like rancid, which tells you that, the corpses have been dead for like 5 days, and so it's probably safe. And then you notice that this one over here doesn't smell as bad. Oh, so through the smell check, you know that there's fake dead. They're pretending to play dead. Kind of thing.
With D&D, there's kind of like, if you roll a nat 20, you can do just about fucking anything. You can do the most ridiculous fucking shit. And it's a hell of a lot of fun. And there's also, if you've ever done, I mean, this is the drama nerd coming out, but if you've ever done any kind of drama or improv, there's also a degree of that if you want it. But you can also just be the barbarian who sits in the background and is like, rogue smash. Like, all right, cool. You're not going to do much talking, but we're going to get into battle and you're just going to like fucking punch some shit. And honestly, it's just it's just a lot of fun with friends.
It is fun. And we instantly... So I don't know if Kai refers to himself as DM or GM, but I was introduced and instantly I was met with animosity. I was in this cave. Yeah, from the entire group.
I guess your name's Indiana Gnomes.
I was in this cave and I'm like, why have you come in this cave?
Yes.
And someone was, it was Chroma that was like, this is my cave. And I was like, no, it's my cave. And we had this back and forth about why it's our cave. And
it was no one's cave.
The DM's kind of like, what is happening? Why are you doing this?
Meanwhile, I'm playing a rogue with some ridiculous stealth who also has spider climb. So I was just climbing up on all the statues and then just throwing shit at Indiana gnomes.
I don't forget that ratty. I still have that ratty.
And then Noctis just
Me.
like, yeah, all right. I'm gonna go buy shiny Umbreons on eBay. Someone call me when the D&D talk is over.
God, I'm sorry. Nothing you guys described sounded fun.
It's not for everyone. I get that. I honestly, the first time I tried it, I didn't think it was going to be for me. I was a bit like, oh, this is awkward. I don't know if I enjoy this. And then I switched it up and I had a different group and it was some of the most fun I've ever had.
Do you enjoy doing stupid shit in games?
Yes.
Right? So like, for example, it's like when...
And it's like, do you want unlimited possibilities?
It's like people watching me play Metroid Dread, right? For those who don't know, and I guess for you guys, I was forced to play Metroid Dread because I never played a Metroid game. And I told chat, if someone buys me the game, I'll one-shot it. And so somebody bought me the game. And so last Saturday, I started at 8 a.m. and it took 12 and a half hours of streaming. And I was eventually able to one-shot it. And I was just making everyone angry because they're like, you know you have stealth, right? And I'm like, eh. And they're like, you know you have like a speed boost, right? I was like, nah. And like, you know you have like the entire game is based around free-range targeting, right? I was like, nah. And I was just basically ignoring like most. I was like, I don't have to use more than like 2 mechanics, and I'm gonna beat the game this way. And people were just very angry at me and yelling at me as I eventually like did it. You know, and it's just like being able to pull off stupid shit and justify doing it is just great.
And there's unlimited possibilities. Like, unlike a video game where obviously there are parameters to which what your character can do, even in the most open world of games, in D&D, nah, fucking none of that bullshit. You can more or less do whatever you want, but there are consequences to your action.
As tFay put out earlier, that it does require a capable DM to be able to then respond to the outlandish shit that comes on.
And we have one of our very good friends is doing it, and that's why.
Like, imagine like Lazz is like, all right, so I'm gonna use my spider claws to climb to the tallest building. And I'm going to pray to the sun god, and Scorch's beard is going to come down as a summon after I use my laser cutter on his face, and it's going to crush them. And then a bad deal would be like, all right, roll for initiative. Okay, it works. Yeah. I'm like, come on! I gave you gold!
I guess. What you guys are describing sounds awful to me. It sounds like a bunch of random people just shouting random things.
What do you think?
And
what do you think this podcast is?
I was gonna say, what are we doing right now?
Shouting random things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't get into it. Maybe one day, I'll be duped into joining a campaign with someone. But like I've tried watching D&D on YouTube. I've tried watching them on Twitch. It just puts me to sleep. I don't. Critical Role.
Legitimately. All right,
I don't care.
All right, even like things with Critical Role, because I've tried watching, and there's something that's pretty universal about most D&D things, right? Unless they have, oh jeez, and the live chat, there's someone in there who knows what I'm talking about. Maybe they can answer like what this is. If they don't give a visual of what's happening, and the viewer is not familiar with D&D and visualizing scenarios in D&D, it's super hard to get into it. Like, now, there was a show, and I'm waiting for someone in live chat to tell me what it was, where they would play a D&D game, and the show would basically give a real, like, cartoony visual over what's happening, so you don't have to imagine what it is. And I thought that was great, because that helps connect what's happening, you know, the funny scenarios for the viewers. And it's not just, we're going to talk, and you're going to have to imagine it.
That Harmon Quest, right?
Harmon's Quest, yes. I think that that is a great way to get people into watching D&D shows. Like,
I agree.
Their method, because as you said, like, you know, you're watching people, and it's not necessarily that the stories are boring. It's that you're unable to visualize what they hear, like what they see, and stuff like that. And with things with Harmon's Quest, and I just wish there was more, just that other D&D shows do it, right? Granted, it's a lot of work. I get it, but like,
yeah, you're pretty much. But at that point, you're not doing D&D anymore. I'm just watching pretty much a animated
it's
TV
a gateway, right? It's you got to ease them. You got to guide them into some way, right? It's like
but no, see, I get that in the sense, like, Jaden Animations animated her attempts at 2 Nuzlocks, and while that's really cool, that didn't do anything for me Pokemon wise. It's merely her experience playing this game that was enjoyable.
That's not necessarily the same thing, because what she made was a fun video with a story that happened to be about a Nuzlocke. That wasn't her putting that wasn't something to get people to understand the Nuzlocke per se. It's different if she was to animate her entire Nuzlocke like live, like show the full Nuzlocke, the journey and stuff. She shows clips, like, key moments, right? There's a different, like, when you're watching like professional Nuzlockers where they literally will describe why they're doing their things, and that helps. That's the part that gets people like into the Nuzlocke part, and then like you need like the middle ground to guide people from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. If you're gonna say, all right, so I'm a first-time Pokemon player, what do I do? All right, step 1. If you're not EV trading, then you're stupid. All right, if you're not getting perfect IVs, right? And how do you know it's perfect IVs? Well, when you do the first fight, when you fight your rival, Squirtle versus Bulbasaur, if your Squirtle has 16 HP at the start, then it's trash and you have to restart the game. See, that like goes over people's heads, and suddenly they hate Pokemon, right? But that, like, so I think like many people don't like this, all right? But I think Pokemon Sword and Shield, where they added the weakness, like what's super effective and not in game, like as a visual. So like, let's say you hit a fire Pokemon with a water attack, and now when you fight that Pokemon, it'll tell you, oh, this move is super effective, right? So it bridges the gap between those who already know it.
It's beginner
those
friendly,
who don't, right? It doesn't change the game at all, right? It just makes it so you don't have to look stuff up, and it just it's a nice middle ground to help ease people into the things. And I think they need something like that for D&D, and I honestly don't think that exists. I don't think there's an entry point.
I feel like with D&D as well, I've tried to start a few times. I've played a few first sessions, a couple of second sessions, but the group's fallen apart just because of commitment issues. We've not been able to meet up. That's the only reason.
I have literally been asked to play.
I've never watched Critical Role. I've never watched any of these shows, so I don't have any expectations other than what I've already experienced and what I hope to experience.
I've literally been asked to play 3 D&D games. Three parties have asked, "Hey, do you want to play D&D with us?" And I said, "Sure." And then we'll get back to you when it starts. I'm like, "Okay," and I've never heard back. It just always happens. Like, setting up D&D is like the most impossible thing these days.
It's really hard. I mean, I think it's become, in some ways, it's become easier with technology, but also harder because there's so much out there that's meant to help facilitate a good online D&D experience, but also requires more technical knowledge and tech accessories. And it's like, I've always played with kind of the bare minimum. So I started off literally just at a table with a bunch of friends and a whiteboard, and then
I mean, there's ways you could simplify D&D like a lot. You can basically say like, all right, for like anything you want to do, let's just say you need to get a total score of like 25, and then you just have your base stat, and then you add it to your dice roll, and if it's above 25, it succeeds. But like, you could just like hard simplify and just like, so you don't have to think like, all right, this type of thing requires this number, this type of thing requires this number, all these stats.
And there are other systems that do that. I could get into a long discussion about why I personally don't love that particular way of playing. 5e D&D. I'm sending Noctis to sleep. D&D 5e.
Umbreon sucks.
We can move on. D&D 5e makes an attempt at that while still facilitating imagination, and I think that's why 5e is a good system for most people. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's the best that's ever out there or that the one that everyone will love, but I think it's the best I think it's a very practical system for a lot of
There's
reasons.
also other tabletop RPGs out there. Like we're
Yeah.
supposed to be starting a Chronicles of Darkness game soon, which apparently
uses an
is
entirely different system.
entirely different system, and it's supposed to be more focused on roleplay than anything else.
Than combat. Yeah.
And I'm going to leave Lazz to explain that while I go pee again, because it's been an hour.
I think we need to switch topics for poor Noctis' sake. He's gonna fall asleep in his chair.
Yeah, we can. What would you like to talk about now,
I'm
Noctis?
listening. I like. You guys keep describing it. I've yet to hear anything that like. Oh, actually, I'm kind of curious.
Well,
I mean, what would get your interest in something like this? Like, what is it that you want to hear?
Okay, like I'm legitimately. I've been thinking. Like, I've been thinking of that answer for Noctis. Like, I'm thinking, all right, what kind of games does Noctis play? How does Noctis play games? Because how you play games is a big factor as well. And I can't bridge a gap between that and D&D. Like, I legitimately can't. I can't think of, like, the things that he's
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, right?
It's not for everyone, and that's absolutely fine. It's not, it doesn't have to be.
I'm trying to think. It's kind of fun. I legitimately can't even come up with, I can't justify. No, I'm like, Noctis, you like Fall Guys, so you should like D&D. I don't know.
Okay, like, because I have lots of my college friends love D&D. They talk about it a lot. I have especially some Star Wars variations, and that sounded kind of interesting. I just like I guess getting a group together to play it actually, and even like I like math, but sitting down and trying to figure out all my stats, it just isn't for me.
Yeah, so live chat was suggested to turn Pokemon to a tabletop, and I'm going to use Noctis's answer just now as a response to that. I don't think Noctis cares that much about things like Pokemon stats and whatever that turning it to a tabletop will, like, do anything. Even if you made, like, Pokemon D&D, right? It's like, oh, you have your Umbreon, you have your shiny Umbreon, and it's going to use Confuse Ray. All right, roll for chances of success, or, like, you know, flip a card to, like,
you know what? Maybe Pokemon. Maybe Pokemon.
Maybe Pokemon D&D.
Maybe Pokemon. Yeah, because like I don't know. I don't know why I find it so boring. I've tried 3 or 4 times now to play D&D, and it's not. Maybe it's just not for me.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be for you. Not everything is.
Like I said, I can't think of an actual segue between how you play games or what games you play that would make me think you would like D&D. Right? Like, some people love to do stupid shit in games. Like, I like to do stupid shit. Like, I like to play games the wrong way. Right? And then I could say, oh, well, that's something you could associate into D&D, right? Or someone's like, oh, I really like fantasy shit. There's a D&D.
See, I really like story. I really like the story. I really love story and character development, and that's why I love D&D. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I also really like fighting shit, and I get to do that in D&D too. But
yeah, legitimately, not just like, I'm thinking of the games that you stream, right? Like, and they don't associate with D&D. Like,
no, definitely don't use the games I've streamed like in the last 2 months.
Well, even just the game at all, like think of like all the games you streamed. Does any of them like carry over into a segue into like D&D? What fucking Cloudberry Kingdom?
That's platform. I play a lot of platformers though.
Right, you play very simplistic things, right? Not saying simplistic isn't bad. Simplistic is like there's not like a heavy amount of plot or a heavy amount of gameplay mechanics that, you know, would translate into a D&D kind of thing. You like to sit down, you like to relax with your games, you like to have fun, you know.
D&D is not relaxing. I would not describe D&D as something that's relaxing.
We're still talking about D&D.
Well, no, right now it's kind of segued into me trying to pseudo-justify for Noctis why Noctis won't like D&D. And I'm saying, like, the way he play, at least from what I know of him, the kind of games he likes and how he plays games doesn't translate to D&D. Like, it makes sense to me that he wouldn't like D&D.
Yeah,
but like that's not fair. If do you like D&D, tFay?
Me? I mean, I like the concept of it. I don't get to play it.
Yeah,
like,
I would
if
just
someone,
say, like,
if someone
I don't
asked
think
me, I
the
would always
games
do
you
it.
play make sense because you can look at the games you play. Like, oh, you like to play farm sims. You're not gonna like D&D. Oh, you like to play the Professor Layton games. You're not gonna like D&D.
See,
I
the
don't
Professor
think
Layton
it
games
counts.
make a lot of sense
Yeah, I
because
was about to say
D&D
the
is
Professor Layton
often
games,
quite
but
a lot about puzzles.
also even farm sims. Farm sim
Yeah.
literally is just me planning out everything and then executing it through a long grind. You could definitely do that in D&D. Like, you could say, all right, my goal is to make, like, so farm sim, you're basically looking at farm sim as inherently what it is, not in how I'm playing it. Like, when I'm playing a farm sim, all right, like, you know, like the people who are active, all three of them in my farm sim streams, like, no, like, I like to have a long-term goal, and I like to do like everything I can to like try to meet like that. So if I was to, like, I could be as like a farmer in a Dungeons and Dragons. I can be like, all right, I'm gonna be the farmer class, and my goal is to sell turnips and make this much money, so I could buy a giant statue of a turnip and then wax Scorch with it for beating Indiana gnomes. All right, and that's gonna be my goal for the entire D&D campaign. And
Yeah.
everything I
think
do
you're
in this
stretching.
campaign is no, I'm
I
not
think you're
stretching. That
you
I
are
think that
stretching.
is literally how people will approach D&D.
You can.
D&D is just
When
like
you
a
said
farm sim. You
sims
set a
and
goal.
Professor Layton, I didn't inherently think, oh, that's not D&D. Oh, that's not translatable to
No.
D&D.
Yeah, Professor Layton. I'm sorry, Professor Layton. They're puzzle games. Farm sims are. I would agree with you. You do set a goal, but it's not in the same way. Like, you're not doing crazy stuff in your farm sims. Like, you just describe D&D.
It doesn't have to be the same way. The principle's the same. You don't do
and that you
Skyrim
set
the
a
same
goal
way
and
you
do it.
Witcher.
That's so vague that I don't think it
No,
applies.
I mean, that's how a lot of people approach D&D, though. You're
Also-
thinking too much like Critical Role. All right, like
Yeah,
you're
Critical
thinking.
Role
No, I am not. No, I am not. Straight up, I am going off what you guys said. I have watched an episode of Critical Role, right?
Many people. No, I'm not saying literally Critical Role. I'm saying that, like, you're too dramatizing what is required, like what people do in D&D. Many people literally do D&D, like, where they have a very simple goal and they try to achieve it.
I've got a really good example. Progamer, his whole goal was to make money. He was in a Curse of Strahd game, which is all about vampires. They figured out that for whatever reason, nails were really scarce in this town. And nails were vast, but they needed iron stakes. So what they did is that they got all the nails from every single house and had a druid use the spell mending. So whenever they would just take the nails from every single piece of wood across the whole town to get all of this iron, and then they used mending to make sure the houses stayed together despite the lack of nails, and they just created a bunch of stakes to kill all the vampires and just ruined the entire economy. Chroma's whole goal was to make money.
That's not quite right.
Okay, that's not 100% right according to Chroma, but that sums it up. That's a good example of something that you can do in D&D. They ruined an entire town's economy because that was one of the players' goals.
Oh my god.
Noctis is like,
economy sim.
all right, guys, this is the last time we're having Lazz Scorch on the podcast.
No, definitely not that. Maybe I like all this D&D talk. It's not for me.
That's fair.
The more you guys describe D&D, the less interested
I mean, I've already said that I don't expect Noctis to enjoy D&D. Like,
oh my god, I don't know.
It's literally, maybe it's my streamer mentality of, like, when I look at a game or like anything, I think, would people enjoy this? Like, people are like, you should stream this game, and I'm like, all right, who are my viewers? Would they actually enjoy me playing this, or would this random one person in my chat tell me to play it and they would enjoy it, but they're not going to watch me anyway?
Yeah. Like, maybe if we knew someone that wanted to put together a game, and we could actually count on it being because how many people do you normally have for a D&D party?
That's entirely optional. I've met some DMs that refuse to have more than 4 or 5 players. I've met others that will have, 10, but it's drop in and out. So that's the thing. It's entirely customizable. I personally prefer something that's, especially if you've got a lot of new players, something a little on the smaller side. So I'd normally say not more than 5 because everyone wants to have their say, and you don't want everyone yelling over each other constantly.
See, I'm going off what I've seen and what the biggest party we did was I think like 10 people. That was and we did it twice with them. And then so they invited me and Vixen and Noctibum to come play D&D. So we're like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll try it. After the second time playing with them, they're like, well, we decided to switch to this other campaign, and we're gonna do that. So like that was the closest I came to actually getting into it. And they said, sorry, we're not doing that campaign anymore. We might revisit it after we finish this other one. Like 2 months later, they're like, well, we just decided to start another one. Okay. I guess
like 10 can be too many people.
That's
unless you're experienced.
Even when you're experienced, I would not want to play in a campaign with 10 people.
How do you even coordinate that many people to show up?
Without being experienced, I don't think you could even play 10.
No. And
I think
honestly,
when you all live in
like
the same area, it's easier.
I think, or like
it's not.
Okay, so like let's think of this, Noctis. Like let's think of this in terms of streamer talk. All right, this is the best way to create the analogy here. All right.
Okay.
How easy is it to get 4 people to play a game on stream at the same time? And
no, it's not easy.
Right, and then that basically could translate to D&D as well, right? So like. Yeah. Getting 4 people, let alone more than 4 people, to sit down for a long period of time and do one thing, let alone regularly do that one thing, is I would say really hard.
Been doing but it's Fall Guys, it's not D&D. But yeah, normally like 3 to 4 people, about once a week, I would say.
Yeah, no. So that could work, but then you also have to have one of them magically be a good DM, which is a giant another factor.
And that's
right?
And getting people together is so hard. In similar principle, I own a card game called Werewolves of Miller's Hollow, which is it's essentially like a Town of Salem type game, like years before Among Us and all that stuff. But you need a minimum of 7 people to play it. Ideally, you want at least 12. You try and get 12 people in the room together in one time that's convenient to everyone, where everyone wants to play this game. It's not easy. It's not an easy task.
Like I said, I think it's a lot easier in person.
Over the internet.
Oh no, it's definitely easier. Well, it's definitely easier if you're all kids and you live in the same neighborhood, because your Saturday is a full Saturday, right? You could say, let's all get together at someone's house and do this. I mean, when you're trying to get people, these days, like when we're trying to get people together, it's first of all, what time zones are we in? All right. Do they have kids? If they have kids, you're fucked. All right. Do they even want to do it the full time? All right. And then if you're going to be streaming it, then there's that entire headache of some people. I've seen people say, hey, do you want to do this with me? And they're like, are you streaming? They're like, yeah. And they're like, no. This wasn't me. I just know this to happen with other people. Everyone knows I don't play games with people on stream. But
but it's true though. It requires coordination and also just a level of commitment that not everyone is willing or able to make.
Before getting a GM, DM, like it's so hard. Like for longtime veterans, we literally had someone asked me if we can get to people on stream to play Town of Salem, right? Which is like one ultimate werewolf kind of thing. Like think of it as one giant game of Among Us where your only goal is to find who's sus, right? Like there's no actual gameplay outside of that. And I was like,
it has a mod which basically makes Town of Salem.
Yeah,
Among Us game.
I've seen lots of games have it. I've seen Minecraft have it. I've seen.
So I told
GTA.
When the person brought that up to me, I said, "Get the people, and I'll do it." Right? They even bought me the game, and then prematurely they're like, "Here you go," and then I was like, "Okay, still need the people." They made multiple announcements. They asked people, like people said yes. They literally faded into existence. Also for live chat, bringing up about how Among Us died so fast. Among Us didn't necessarily die so fast. It's Among Us inherently falls into one of two categories. Okay, I guess you could say it's sort of like D&D logic, but I'll try to not use D&D as a metaphor here. Among Us is basically those who just want to dick around and do everything nonsensical, right? And then people who want to be like Sherlock Holmes prose detectives. And when you're just dicking around, it's literally memes, and just like memes, it's a fade. It's a fad. It's a trend, right? It's gonna fade away, right? It's a fad. So basically, once people run out of their dumb gaslighting memes and all their YouTube content, then they want to do something else. For the people who treat it like legitimate detective Sherlock Holmes based games, I've seen plenty of people still doing that. The problem is, just like DMs, is really hard.
I think it's also good for groups of people that just want to hang out. Like when I tend to join Among Us, it's because, there's a group of us, maybe there's 5, 6 of us that all want to play games together, but that's not always practical in other games. But you can play Among Us, you can be a little bit drunk, you can be talking shit and still playing the game, and it can still be fun.
Among Us, for what the game was in terms of a social deduction game, stayed hype for a very long time. The only reason it's still alive now amongst some streaming circles and some YouTube creators is because of the mods. However, I think it also benefited that it got hype at the time where so many people were in lockdown, so many people were stuck inside.
Yeah, you also had everyone on the platform.
Yeah, and it's not a resource intensive game. Like I can play it on my shitty old laptop that's years old. That you can get it on your phone. Like
you can play with a range of people,
with friends, without requiring much. I think it did stay hype for longer than it deserved to. Is probably the wrong phrasing, but it stayed hype.
I think hype for longer than it would have in other circumstances.
If it wasn't pandemic, it wouldn't have reached that level.
Honestly,
of hype.
I think the same can be said for Animal Crossing. I don't think Animal Crossing would have reached the same level of hype if it weren't for COVID, which is why I think the creators of Animal Crossing created COVID. There's a conspiracy, it lies there.
No, see,
it's Nintendo. That game's gonna sell well no matter what.
Yeah, it was never going to do bad.
No, but I don't think it was going to do as well as it did.
No, it definitely wouldn't have done as well as it did, but I don't think Nintendo planned for that because as per everyone's complaint, even Nintendo couldn't provide content at enough rate to keep up with people's demand for it. And, and if that could be attributed to, they were planning for Animal Crossing to be a slow burn because that's the kind of game it's supposed to be, not everyone in the world plays and everyone spends all their time making all these magnificent islands with time traveling, and now they need stuff because you run out of stuff to do. Now, if you did a slow burn without time travel, which is, not to get into arguments if time travel is how the game's supposed to be played or not, but there was content. Like, you would have stuff to do if you didn't try to rush everything and stuff like that. And if Nintendo expected it to sell and be as popular as it did, I am sure they would have made a lot more content right away to push out with the game. I feel like their lack of content, if anything, showed that they didn't expect it to do well. To counter the dumb conspiracy shit.
I don't know.
No, it was Animal Crossing. They were at the heart of it. No, I don't actually, for the record, I don't actually believe that COVID is a conspiracy theory.
Well, obviously, we don't think that you actually believe that.
But it's just
I'm
incredible.
starting to kind of believe it, the amount of time she's mentioned it.
It's just, honestly, because I was one of the people that I wouldn't have bought Animal Crossing except that it came out, I think it was 2 days after Australia, for example, we went into a hard lockdown right after it came out. And so I was like, well, all of my plans have gone to shit.
Whatever.
They've sold 31 million copies of New Horizons.
31 million. 2 million.
That doesn't
that's a huge amount of games. Like,
Yes.
it's just, like since it came out,
Why
it
do you-
came out last year.
Why do you think they put DLC on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion?
I know.
Because
I was
Hasn't
just
there
saying,
been
like,
there's only
holy
been
shit.
89 million Switches sold.
Yeah, I'm just like
There's like a third of people that own a Switch.
the only
have
thing that
Animal
hasn't beat
Crossings.
is Mario Kart, which Mario Kart makes sense at 37 million. But Mario Kart's also been out since 2017. Like the fact that they've sold 34 million in 1 year.
I'm honestly
that's
surprised
a
it's
huge
not
success.
higher.
Yep, live chat is also agreeing that
Yeah.
seems like a low number.
Yeah.
Not everyone's swayed by the non-content that is Animal Crossing.
Look, I'm someone that gets bored of shit real easy, but during the first stages of lockdown, my anxiety about the world was so high. I just wanted something that was so easy and chill. I was like, yes, I just want to invest in my like also I'm living as a millennial that can never afford a house. So I was like, oh look, in this world I can take out a loan I can actually afford to pay back. Like,
Well, okay.
what a rare occurrence for one such as
No-
myself.
no
This is
interest
magical.
on the
Thank you,
loan.
Tom.
Okay, really quick, by the way. Animal Crossing New Horizons is the 15th best-selling game ever. Like
Yeah, it
in the
doesn't
games
surprise
that
me.
the 15th best-selling game, like that in a year, that is amazing. Like that is unbelievable to me. We're talking a lot of these games that beat it were packaged in with the console, like Wii Sports, Super Mario Bros. Tetris is like Pac-Man. These are the games that are beating it. Red Dead Redemption 2 and PUBG are the only two on here.
Hey,
that
I
are
am full believer
relatively close.
that when its release is super important. Like at the new Mario Party coming out this weekend,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And I bet you if this released during pandemic, I think it would be up there, like kind of like Mario Kart is up there. I'm like
Okay,
online Mario Party, like during pandemic when you can't leave your house.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, compare these to the game. Like, everyone likes to joke about the Skyrim being available on every console. It's only sold 30 million copies. Like, let's talk The Witcher 3, 30 million copies.
Because
Because
everyone-
everyone already. Why do we need to buy another one?
Yeah, but that's why. How many people keep buying? Like, they keep buying Skyrim is the joke, so they keep putting it on new consoles.
Well, all right.
But like, they sold more Animal Crossing than that.
But I mean,
New Horizons.
them putting Skyrim, like they realized that if you make, because Skyrim is probably so easy to port that if you put it for like a nickel and 5 people buy it, you still make a profit on it. Like that's like now there's a big controversy happening with Sony, and Sony's starting to port games that were PlayStation exclusives onto PC. So we got Horizon Zero Dawn. We're getting God of War. Apparently, Bloodborne is coming to PC. All right, I don't know how many people realize the significance of Bloodborne coming to PC, but that's huge.
I do not.
And it's funny because apparently, I don't know why anyone would be surprised at this. The internet's going, oh, PlayStation no longer has exclusives. Sellouts. I was a PlayStation fan and you're putting games on the PC? Like, does it change your PlayStation experience at all? No. Does it change the cost of games in your console at all? No. Why are you mad? Because I wanted exclusive when it says exclusive. Why did I buy a PlayStation if not for exclusives?
Besides
this is
that,
legitimately
do
a
you
thing
think
that's happening.
We've come
PlayStation
full
is starting to do
circle.
that? But do you think PlayStation are starting to do that because Bethesda is now owned by Microsoft?
I
And
think
there's a
PlayStation is starting
future
to do
Bethesda
that
games
because
might be
all right,
Xbox
it's
PC.
literally good basic marketing. Ignore who owns rights to anything. You make your game exclusive. All right. Wait till everyone buys it, then you put it somewhere else, and more people will buy it. Like, that's pretty much how it works. Because you're gonna put it on the PlayStation. You'll have a few people who buy a PlayStation just to buy it. Then you drain their funds. Then you put it on PC. And probably half of those PlayStation people are going to rebuy it on the PlayStation to have, or be it on the PC for the better graphics. Monster Hunter Rise did this, and they announced that they were doing this. Monster Hunter Rise comes out on Switch. Everyone goes nuts. They literally say they're going to put it on PC. What does everyone say? It's not I'm gonna wait for it to be on PC or why isn't it on PC now? It's I'm gonna play it on Switch and then buy it on PC. It's just basic marketing. Like things being on every console at the same time is just objectively worse than localizing on consoles like over a period of time, depending on the game.
They put GTA 5 on the Xbox 360. I don't. How does it even? Can it even run it? Not gonna want to see what it looks like on the 360.
You can run anything on anything if you just make the graphics shitty enough.
Xbox 360. I remember I played it on the Xbox 360 because it used to say on your friends list if you were in the strip club and my friend got in trouble with his girlfriend.
Yeah, but like the Xbox One can barely
in the
run.
Strip club on GTA 5. That's the only reason I remember it was on the 360.
GTA 5 is like the GTA version of Skyrim at this point. They just keep releasing it on more places instead of like remaking a new one.
With GTA, you expect it to be a significant amount of time between games. Skyrim's like...
I don't know. All right, GTA legitimately is my D&D for Noctis. It's one of those really popular things that everyone enjoys, and I cannot remotely see the appeal of it.
Same. I've tried to get into GTA. I feel like it's got all the things in there that I should enjoy. Gratuitous violence, gratuitous nakedness. But every time I get in there, I'm like...
That's funny because GTA is like a game you can play just like your D&D campaigns you like to talk about.
Yeah,
when they say get a car from point A to point B, you can get it there however you want.
It's literally something that should be something that she likes.
I see.
But she doesn't.
That's GTA roleplay though. That's not just
However,
GTA. I enjoy GTA.
Well, some people do think
523 in the chat has pointed out, just play Saints Row. Saints Row, I fucking love the shit out of.
Saints Row is so much better than GTA. It's not even funny.
Yeah, so much better.
Like the story's better.
So many times, can't get into it. Played one Saints Row. It was like, it's like GTA, and I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking hate it. And I got in there, and it was like, yo, the president. You're fighting aliens. Oh no, you're in the 1950s hellscape.
Saints Row 4 is way worse than Saints Row 3. Saints Row 3 is vastly superior to Saints Row 4.
Nah, Saints Row 4 is pretty good.
I'm not saying Saints Row 4 is bad. I'm saying that Saints Row 3 is superior. Just to clarify. To clarify the distinction.
I think I've only played Saints Row 4. That's when we play the president.
Yeah, so Saints Row 4 is
that's the only one I've played.
All right, so hear me out, all right?
I'm not saying it's worse, I'm saying...
No. So hear me out my logic and why I think that 4 is worse. Not bad, I'm going to emphasize, like, we're saying, like, if Saints Row 4 is an 8, I can say Saints Row 3 is a 10 as a relative comparison. Where an 8 is very good, okay? But, like, Saints Row 4... I feel like the superpower component made me not care about half of the content that's in Saints Row. So, in Saints Row 3, you had all the different cars, you had all the ways to ride around the cars, like there's literally an achievement for how long you could surf on a car. You have all the different weapons and shit like that.
So much fun.
With Saints Row 4, because you have superpowers, it demeans the necessity to use half of the other shit in that game. So, like, why would you ever drive a car when you could fly? And there's no incentive to use like, they give you incentive to use the superpowers. You need to get all the collectibles. You need to get, like, why would you shoot someone with a crazy gun that can make them, like, dab and dance until they die? Really cool. When you could just shoot a fireball to their face. And it, like, the super...
But that's what I loved!
No, I loved that. No, that's why, like, I loved... It was really fun doing that. It just made me feel it was worse than Saints Row 3. Because Saints Row 3, I think, better embraced all its mechanics, like, in the world of Saints Row as a whole. Where Saints Row 4 had a really cool system, but I didn't think it was as... like, it felt like disconnected from half of the stuff in there.
So Saints Row 4, just you don't drive cars as much, and that's your argument?
No, it's not. It's they power crap. Like it didn't really feel so much like there were a lot of mechanics in Saints Row that seemed why were they there because of other mechanics in there. So it like power crept itself. And so to me, from a design aspect, it loses points for that. Not saying it's bad. I'm saying that Saints Row 3 I think from like as a whole, like everything in the game sort of blends together nicer compared to Saints Row 4. Like I think that the stuff they put in Saints Row 3 is really fun. It just doesn't mesh as well.
You're almost saying they try too hard with Saints Row 4.
No,
like
I don't want to say that because it's Saints Row. Saying try too hard with Saints Row is kind of saying that a Saints Row game is a Saints Row game. I think it's just literal
it's
power
all kind
creep.
of wild. Yeah,
It's supposed to be try hard. It's supposed to be over the top and crazy. I think it makes sense that they added superpowers in You're the President. Like, it makes sense that Saints Row would do that. I'm not even saying it's like not a Saints Row game. It's sort of like them power creeping themselves. It's just when you get to a certain threshold of over the top, it becomes so over the top that it's like out of the sense of even your own game. Like the DLC for Saints Row 4, Gat Out of Hell, where they literally go to hell. Like, you know, I played it. I honestly thought I would enjoy it more than it did. I didn't really enjoy it because it was just, it didn't really, it sort of felt like a different kind of game that just happened to be in my Saints Row. It wasn't necessarily bad, but you know, I'm critiquing something. I guess you could say for the sake of critiquing, it's not bad. It's all good. Saints Row 4, great game. But I'm saying that you know, there are some flaws that made me think of Saints Row 3 as an overall better experience.
See, I can't really. I don't have anything to say because I haven't played Saints Row.
If you haven't played Saints Row 3, I don't think you'll even notice any of the problems that I have with Saints Row 4.
It was
it's
only
a problem
because
by comparison.
I got Saints Row 4 free somewhere, and I was like, "This seems like another stupid GT." I honestly thought when I picked it up, when I like got it in my inventory, because I definitely didn't pay for it. I was like, "This seems like the cheap man's GTA." And then one day I was really bored and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and I was like, and here's what I normally do. I'm like, I don't know what I feel like playing, so I'll just open a random game that I've never played before. And Saints Row 4 happened at that time to be one of those. And
Saints Row, the original one, was
So good.
definitely a cheap GTA clone. The second one's definitely better, but I think it was the third one when they kind of jumped into that like ridiculous aspect.
The
that they
ridiculous
love so
aspect is
much.
what makes it fun and like, you know,
and
unique.
it's so
right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, like
There's also the point they realized they couldn't be a GTA clone. They had to do their own thing. They had to be like, no, we have to be our own game.
No, but like the second one
that's what
featured
they did.
a bunch of the stuff that became popular later. Like that's where you can do the diversions, where you do like car surfing, combat, driving stunts, crap like that. That stuff was there in the second one. It's just the story wasn't quite as interesting. It wasn't until the third one when they decided to turn it up and make it ridiculous. But what I also love about
Yeah, me
But
too.
what I love about the Saints Row games is how nostalgic they are for that era of GTA or of Saints Row 2. Like they make so many callbacks to it. It's amazing for a game that I think a lot of people didn't really care for.
Well, I don't know. To that, I had a discussion with this like at school, like how a lot of like really clever shows when they're trying to target both adults and kids, like it was using an example like Emperor's New Groove. There are a lot of adult jokes in that movie if you go back and pay attention, or you can watch a video that just tells you what they all are. Like there's so many adult jokes that you'll only get as an adult.
Time to watch a whole movie.
right. So you don't.
Nonsense.
There's so many good references and things, you know, that only adults or only certain people understand, and it's kind of like what Saints Row did. You know, like a lot of comic movies will do that, where they'll reference important lines or moments in comics.
What tFay is saying is Saints Row is a children's game. Go out and buy it.
Yeah, this totally as you whack people with giant dildos.
I think juvenile is a good way to describe those games. If we're gonna be honest here,
it is juvenile, but you know, have an open mind because political correctness is definitely not something you're gonna find in that game.
Did you guys see that they're doing a remake of it? And it's supposed to come out next year.
Oh God!
Yep. Deep Silver, they're back with Saints Row 2022.
Wait, which one? 3 or 4?
No, it's a remake of the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's they don't have any of the same character names.
I don't know if I'd actually play. I feel like a remake of Saints Row falls under the category of I'd play it if I wasn't a streamer. And before people
why
say
if you wasn't? Why do you say that? Like you'd play if you weren't a streamer? Why?
Because I pick games like the games that I play are dependent on what works for stream or what ways to use it.
Okay.
And like certain game the game I'm playing one of the games I'm playing right now, Tales of Arise, is probably the first game in a very, very long time that I'm purely playing on stream because it's something that I want to do. Almost everything else is done with some kind of outside of me wanting to play it in mind when approaching. Whether it's a couple of my viewers want to watch it or I just think it's a good game to stream, etc. like that. Like, some games I just don't like. A lot of people wanted me to play like horror games and stuff like that. And I was thinking like, but I also know a lot of my regular viewers don't want to watch that kind of stuff. So why would I stream it kind of thing? And it's like, well, you can also play it outside of stream. I'm like, well, if I'm not streaming, I can also do something that's not playing a game on my computer.
By the way, the PC release of the new game will be exclusive to the Epic Game Store.
Shocking. I don't believe it.
I'm not one of those people that you look at and you go, how do you put those hours in?
How do you do
it? It's very rare. It's a very small amount of hours. Very small amount of hours.
When do you sleep?
Noctis knows I don't sleep.
Oh god, if I didn't have to sleep, I would be so productive. That's the main reason why I just want to be a vampire, so I never have to sleep again. Fuck the sun. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to.
Wait, Noctis, would you stream the first first Saints Row remake?
The one that's coming out next year? Yeah, I think I will. I'm really curious about it. Looks.
I was mentioning to Noctis, I don't know, a few days ago. I was like, because he was commenting, he asked if everyone was getting tired of him streaming like Fall Guys all the time, and I was like, but are there even any like single player games that you want to play right now? And he was like, no, not really. And I'm like, yeah, then you just keep doing Fall Guys. I mean, if there's literally nothing out that you want to play, you know, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, like 100%. I was asking because I like knowing that stuff. And like, yeah, I'm gonna play what I want to play at this point. Like, yeah, I don't stream Fortnite looking for viewers. I stream Fortnite because I like playing the game. And
like, let's say Saints Row came out next week, right? And then you're like, all right, Saints Row interests me. Should I do that or Focus? I'm like, please God, do Saints Row. Like, let's not have 3 months of Fall Guys in Fortnite. You know, like, so I would suggest doing, because you're also interested in it, right? So like, I can't think of suggestions for you to stream. Like, even if I wanted to suggest, whether you do it or not is your business. But I can't even suggest things because I can't think of this game is coming out that Noctis would enjoy. I got nothing.
Well, like, I gotta be honest. Like, I'm so fucking tired from work. And trying to stream on, like, after work. I don't really want to start a new game. I don't want to play a game like Deus Ex or I'm looking through my Steam library here. I don't want to play any of these games.
That's such a mood. That is such a mood.
I feel that's so hard. Like,
I look at games that I'm like, I could play this. I bought it, and I'm like,
but do I want to?
No. I don't
like,
have the energy for this shit.
No.
I want to play System Shock
as well. It's
and
sometimes you just want to sit there.
Yep.
You finish work. You've got tomorrow off. And you just want to sit there for the next 6 to 8 hours and not say a word and just get engrossed in a game.
Dude, like...
And sometimes you just want to have to not think about shit.
That's why I love that Mario Party is coming out, because one, it's finally a game I can play with my community. And two, it literally does not remotely require instructions and or skill cap to play. So if you're absolutely shit at video games, you're just on the same level as anyone else. If you're really good, same level. If you don't know how to play, like, like if I wanted to do D&D, I have to explain to people how to play D&D, right? Or even if I was to do like a board game on Tabletop Simulator, I got to explain to people how to play, you know? Mario Party is get in. Get in, push buttons.
And
smash the fuck out of some buttons.
Yeah, like it's like Fall Guys, right? But like, you know, like for me, I want some variety in like what I'm doing. Like I cannot play Fall Guys for as long as you. Like just kudos to you.
It is getting to that point where I need a different game.
Well, that's why Mario Party is, and I'm excited for it. I'm like excited, like it's a different kind of community thing that we can do. Or even if I did have a community thing, like you can do online stuff. You can play with randos, or like I said, like they have tag team challenges. Like I can play with Noctis, and we can just see like how far we can go up the leaderboard of beating online randoms in like 2-player games and stuff like that. There's like fresh content that fits the desire of I don't want to think that hard with what I'm doing.
Also, from a streamer's perspective, have you all played Witcher? I know Lazz has played some Witcher 3.
Yeah, I played I beat 1 and 2. I completed 2, which was a lot of fun.
Okay, so say a game like that came out tomorrow. It's out tomorrow, and you really, really, really want to play it. You've had a long day at work, and you're kind of like, do I want to stream it and be interacting with chat, and they're impacting my choices, or do I just want to sit down and enjoy this game that I thoroughly have been excited for, and I love the series and the lore for? Sometimes you do just want to sit back and go, I just want to enjoy this game.
Honestly,
I don't want to stream it.
Well, like these games that require like 300 hours.
As someone who's literally a Persona 5 fanboy, as per all of my alerts, as for anyone who talks to me about, you know, Persona and stuff like that, and the fact that I have only gone through like Persona 5 Royal once and not 100%ed it, and it's been sitting there on my PlayStation for like over a year because I don't stream it because I'm too far along to stream it, but I also don't sit down and play games not off stream. The only game I touch off stream is Genshin. That's the only thing I do off stream.
Oh, interesting. Why Genshin?
Because it's a very daily kind of thing. Like I could stream Genshin occasionally, like if there's something interesting to do, or if some people say they want to watch it. I don't mind streaming it, but like a lot of it is just monotonous daily stuff that you got to do daily or like every 2 days. And I'm not gonna go live every day saying, "All right, guys, the first 20 minutes of stream is my daily Genshin shit."
The same thing I did yesterday.
Do we need to wrap up the recording? I'm just offering.
Probably.
That idea.
We're like at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I thought about ending it, but I didn't want to end it with Noctis being sad. We spent 30 minutes talking about D&D.
No, it's whatever. It's whatever, guys. It's fine.
Noctis, what would you prefer, D&D talk or PS5 jokes?
PS5 talk usually makes me laugh.
Can we make a D&D game where the quest is Noctis getting a PS5? Or is that too mean?
Honestly, that sounds awful. Now I am sad.
Okay, see, Luna Lounge with Lazz Scorch,
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so this is where we're gonna end things, guys. Lazz Scorch,
super impressed.
Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Again, Noctis does love you all. He is happy Lazz Scorch. He was actually been so excited to stream, but his throat is gone. You know, that cactus.
I hope it gets better soon, buddy.
Yeah, just lay off the cactuses for a while, and I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, you know,
guys are
or, I don't know. Maybe lay on the cactuses and just don't put them in your mouth. Whatever suits you. You know, I won't judge.
You do you, bro. You do you.
You guys.
But yeah, guys, check out the Lazz Scorch. They have their own podcast. It's a lot better than ours. They're going live tomorrow.
Don't set those kind of expectations. Dear God.
You know, like, and I know what you guys are thinking. When are you guys gonna be on their podcast? I don't know. They never invite us.
They don't like us.
They don't want to add names to their podcast.
We haven't been that organized.
Episodes. However, we do want you on, and we have talked recently about doing more for the podcast. Yeah. As we touched on in those 5 minutes we were talking about podcasts. I personally, at least, am getting organised on this week I've got off work. So I'll be starting to do more work towards it, and hopefully we'll start having some guest stars on. That being said, it's nearly fucking Christmas.
Dude, I am jealous you can just keep doing podcasts with guest hosts, because finding guests is exhausting. Shameless plug. If you want to be on the podcast, please tell us. We say this every week, and it's always a giant headache trying to find people to be on the podcast. It's like me asking like everybody I know, do you want to be on? Do you want to be on? Do you want to be on? Are you free? Are you free? Are you free?
Are you free?
We do want guest stars occasionally.
We do.
But with it now being a month before the Christmas rush, I'm about to go mental with work. I feel like it's a new year thing. Lazz, maybe we can have a guest star when I come visit you in Canada.
Yes, Scorch is going to come visit me in Canada, and then we might be able to do guest stars because I'll take some time off work while he's here. So that might be a possibility, and is shockingly close because, dear God, it's almost November.
See how they're not inviting us to them visit in Canada? See how they're excluding us live on air on our own podcast?
Yeah. Which is crazy. I'm in Montana. You're in New York. We're close enough.
We're actually close enough to visit.
We can make it work.
Well,
we're never invited anywhere.
Then let's make it happen. But all I know
come on,
is...
then. Come on.
All I know is I'm going to Canada. Anyone else? Yeah, you won't. Come visit.
You won't.
Come visit, you pussy. You won't. You won't. I like it. That's funny.
No. Come on up. We have a spare room, and Scorch is not sleeping in the room. So
oh my gosh! I just realized your shirt says Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah. It's
after all this time.
I literally thought that was like a sports jersey, like this entire time.
Oh, it has Harley Quinn bombshell in it. That's cool.
You thought I did sports. That's so funny.
No, well, I was confused on what I didn't want to say. I didn't want to be like, you fantasy nerd, you can't do sports. I was wondering, why the hell would she be wearing a sports shirt right now? Okay, that does make more sense.
Backtracking a little bit though, a potential live Lunar Lounge feature Lazz Scorch show IRL podcast January time. There you go.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think. Jeez, what time? I have to think of when am I actually like? What is my schedules? I work at a school, so my vacations are like they are very open, but they're also predetermined. So like it's like very much fitting things when I actually have vacation, because I'll have like 2 weeks off.
To organize this.
Yeah, it definitely is. But just in general, if people want me to visit. All right, I actually have a set of schedules. Yeah, if you come to New York, that's way easier because then I could just.
I'm not allowed to go anywhere yet because I have to stay in Canada until my visa goes through.
Hopefully, you will be by January.
Fucking hope so, but
yeah,
I'm not holding my breath at this point.
I have yet, at the very least, I haven't seen things get worse. Stores are more and more opening, at least in New York. More and more stores are just casually opening up.
I'm waiting for my visa to go through. I can't leave Canada until my PR goes, like my permanent residency goes through. Otherwise, they might not let me back in when I try to get back home.
Yes,
that's funny.
That is the thing. Well, you can always live with Noctis in Montana.
Oh God, don't. No,
I'm like, that's
you won't like that.
But
so guys, next week on the podcast, we'll have the amazing topic of Canada versus Montana. Which is worse, and why should you not live in either?
I don't know. I'd live in Vancouver. That sounds kind of.
Hey! Next week. Also, for anyone who is weird and wants to support us monetarily, we have a Patreon, which I don't have an auto command for some reason. I should probably do that.
Go support the Patreon because they're fucking dope.
Go support the Patreon where we use your Patreon money to do nothing yet. We're just saving up to we have no plans for the Patreon money. We're like, all right, we're gonna save up money, and then when we want to do something for the Patreon, we'll have money to do it.
Well,
you know what? That's a really good incentive.
You can fast track Lazz's PR and pay for me and Lazz to visit you in New York so we can do an IRL podcast.
We could pay for plane tickets or visas or something.
Money
Well,
Yeah,
we wanted
logo.
to buy Noctis a new mic, but then he got impatient and bought one.
Yeah. What's the joke? What else were we supposed to buy with it? A PS5, possibly.
Yeah, there was
No.
also a PS5, but that
No,
was sort of...
that joke's still live and running. Like when the joke dies, maybe.
I mean, the joke is gonna die legitimately when Noctis gets a PS5. That's the only real way it can die.
That's not going to happen anytime soon because it keeps selling out.
So on
Good.
that note, we're gonna hope. Oh gosh, this is like another 3 hours. This is not gonna convert well. So I'm gonna blame Noctis. You know,
Blame me. I said,
yeah, I'm gonna
20
blame
minutes
Noctis.
ago?
Well, if you like D&D more, we would have had a more positive note to end the stream a while ago.
Also, Happy New Year to all the viewers, because this will probably be the last time we're on in 2021, unless you're really struggling for guests.
We're always struggling for
Back to
guys.
the-
No,
couple
we're
of
definitely
weeks.
really wait. The fact that you think that this is the last time you'll be invited in 2021 is actually insane. I don't
That's
think
funny.
you understand. I don't think you understand how much people don't want to be on the podcast.
Like the streamers, people that stream are like, no, I just don't like podcast. Isn't really. It's too
Oh
weird.
my gosh, the amount of I can't be on
Really?
a podcast because I don't know how to talk to people is unreal. I'm like, you're a
Like-
streamer. Who?
What do you think
Ah.
you do?
No,
Yeah,
that's
I mean-
legitimately the thing. That's legitimately the thing
Okay.
because they need.
Note for the editor: cut out the last 5-10 minutes because this is some actual topic that we're supposed to have talked about in the last 2 podcasts. It is different talking on stream than talking on a podcast. I think I don't know how Lazz feels. Bear in mind we've only done a dozen podcasts. There is
It's
a
different, but I feel
No,
like
it's
the-
different. All right, I'm gonna
And I
sum
feel
this
like
up.
I've
Maybe this is gonna
improved
sound petty.
at doing
Maybe
it.
this is gonna sound petty. All right, how to talk to what talking to people on as a streamer's like. Hey, chat, how you doing? Silence. Talking on a podcast. Hey, how you doing? Oh, a response. Like that's great.
People are talking to me.
They respond to me on a podcast. I feel like it should be
See?
easier.
It's different.
I just
know how-
they think it's easier
Yeah.
to talk to people on a podcast because they'll actually respond.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe that's why in the last 12 weeks, few months or so, I've thought, yeah, I've improved at this. I've gotten better at people responding to me and then me responding back.
I mean, well, that's the thing. It's people who suck at podcasts are people who think of it as different than a conversation that's being recorded.
Yeah.
It's a
Because
recording. Exactly. It's just a
People
recorded
literally
conversation.
say it to me, I'm like, why didn't you talk more? And they're like, because I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm like, what? Like, interrupt me. What the fuck?
That is
Like,
something
please,
you would do more in a
Please, for the
podcast
love
than
of
in a
God,
conversation,
interrupt
though.
tFay.
Interrupt
Right.
more.
Mm.
You interrupt more in a podcast than you do a IRL conversation.
I don't know. I
I
feel like
don't
me and
know.
Noctis interrupt each other equally as much in IRL
Yeah.
conversations versus podcasts. The only difference is we have
Yeah.
other people to talk to.
That's pretty accurate. That's honestly pretty accurate. Honestly, like this feels just like a normal conversation I have with tFay. We
Yeah,
yell at
that's
each
fair.
other. We disagree on a lot of shit.
The
Anyway,
real
there's
funny
your
thing
2 minutes
is
of content for the whole podcast,
Right.
so you can end
So
now.
here's the really trippy thing. I ignore the chat during a podcast, and the chat is honestly, on average, more active during the podcast when I'm ignoring them than during my normal streams where I talk to them. So what does that say about things? I'll let you ponder on that as we end the recording. Bye, guys.
Hi everyone, I really need to pee. Bye.
You want to get involved.
What a message to go out on.
Yeah.